Hello and welcome to the Global AI Bootcamp 2025 Accra edition. I know my face is almost everywhere. You saw me yesterday, you're seeing me this morning. Well, thank you for joining us. This is the Accra.net Azure and AI user group, and we are hosting the Global AI Bootcamp 2025, the Accra version. Like I mentioned, we were supposed to have done this last week, but we had another bootcamp, and therefore we're doing that this week. So, thank you very much for joining us. If this is your first time joining the user group in your Accra, please make your way into our community. It's actually going to be an exciting content filled park on it's going to be an exciting morning or afternoon or evening depending on where which part of the world you find yourself. To get things started, I'm going to bring the speakers and some of the community members here, for us to have a very quick conversation, just a quick conversation. We'll do a quick panel, a quick panel discussion on AI, because the whole thing today is centered on AI. So we're going to do that. Um, uh, all right, we're gonna do that, and then we will take you from there. So let me bring on our guest. So let me bring on our guest, and let's do this. So uh, uh next on, actually first on the list, let me bring Elliot. Elliot is front end engineer, but I'll bring them to introduce themselves to you. So let's bring Elliot in here. And we have Elliot in the room. And next we have Clifford. Clifford is a software engineer. So let's get Clifford also in here. And very interesting enough, we have a third person in here, but I would I think he's signaling me. He's getting some things sorted out. So let's see. So, gentlemen, welcome to the Global AI Bootcamp Accra 2025. We're still waiting for our chairman to join us. Okay, awesome. He's good now. And also we have Mr. Frank Odum, who is Frank is our able, what we call, he's our able charter president or charter organizer, because he's the he's a senior founder of, how do I put it, he started this user group many years ago, and some of us joined to provide the support that is needed. So, gentlemen, welcome to the live stream of Global AI Bootcamp Accra 2025. We have a lot on the lineup, but I would welcome Frank to tell us a bit about the Accra.net and Azure user group, when it was formed, what's the idea, behind it, just to give, our audience some understanding of, where we've come from, and what's the future for the group, and what are you aspiring for the group. So, Mr. Udum, if you can do a start honor.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. The Accra.net user group was formed somewhere in 2018. And yeah, that's where we had like our first meetup. And the idea for forming the meetup was, I mean, just out of passion. We just wanted to have a user group where we could meet as, individuals, learn, share ideas, and, also promote, open source technology. So the Accra.net meetup is actually sponsored by the .NET Foundation, which is a non-profit, and it's actually also a volunteer group. So one of the things that the .NET Foundation does for us as a meetup is, sponsor things like um, our meetup group, and they also usually give us like swags when we have meetups. So if you go to meetup.com right now, you can look up for Accra.net. You can apply to be a member. You can also check the .NET Foundation website. You can also apply to be a member over there. And .NET Foundation is sponsoring our meetup. And also, we one of the reasons why we formed this group was also hosting global events like we have now, which is the Global AI Bootcamp. The first one I think we held somewhere, I think was in 2019. Was
Yeah.
very successful. That was, I think, pre-COVID. It was an in-person, meeting where we had different speakers, show a lot of demos on AIs, etc. So yeah, so basically that's what the meetup is for. And because it's a volunteer group, we're always encouraging people to, be part of us and also help us in organizing, spreading the word, and growing the group. All we want to do is just share knowledge as much as it's voluntary. There are other things that members could benefit from, which could be networking. If you're a startup founder, you could probably find your co-founder or probably some good engineers in the meetup group as well. Yeah, so that's the little I have to say about Accra.net and our sponsor, the .NET Foundation.
Awesome. So it's good to know that Accra Net User Group has a backing. It's not just something. And I quite remember as far back as 2018, actually 2017, 2018, when we started having the conversation of the user group. I mean, Frank had started the user group, a while back, and I was then in the US, and we're like, look, we're coming back home. We need to get this. Before we go to Clifford, who is, the new generation of the user group, uh, Frank, how do you see like? You've given us a timeline of the user group, but how do you see then and now, like the growth in numbers and activities? Brief one. How do you see that evolution?
Yeah, I think now we have like a lot of new members joining, very young guys joining, and I think that is good. Initially, when we started, it was more, like industry guys, in the beginning of young guys joining. We are seeing a lot of. The only thing that probably changed the dynamics of the way the user group works is, when COVID hit, we had to switch completely to virtual. But we've had very successful, in-person meetings before COVID, and we always had like a full house. And we are still trying to switch back to the in-person because we've been used to the virtual for a while. But yeah, I think now there's growth and there's more participation ones than before.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's go to Clifford. Clifford is we say the new generation. Clifford is leading the charge, for the new generation of the club. Clifford, welcome to the stream. And could you share
Yeah.
with us um activities so far, probably the last couple of months? What are some of the activities? What are some of the plans, in terms of activities and events that the group has?
Yeah. So So far, we started September 2024, and we started organizing some virtual event. The whole agenda was to start with virtual event, so later on we can then move to in-person events. So we started with the team members, the people we have on board. So I remember we were talking about Microsoft Azure, how to get started, and how to build your NuGet package with .NET. So we started, and then the community member was, we're happy to join, and the whole agenda was to revive the community because it was, dormant or something for a while. So we wanted people to know that the community is back. So we started, and people, were loving it. So we couple of, since September 2024, we have been able to invite a lot of speakers for them to share their knowledge with our community members. So we have people from US, Germany, and then also people from some of the African continent. Um, and also we have people here in Ghana who are always supporting, and then my boss is also part. And so it has been exciting journey so far. That people love what we are doing, and recently we have a lot of people coming on board as volunteers just to help the community for us to grow, because we cannot do all the work by ourselves. We need more hands so that we can then do more. So far all our events is virtual. We have been doing virtual events since then, but this year we are going to do a lot of in-person events, which is going to be some kind of a mega event. And I hope the community member will, they will love it. So the new change that has come on board is the new volunteers that we have on board. And so now we have people supporting when it comes to graphic. We have people who are going to support when it comes to organize. And then we have people who are going to support when it comes to we want to do some kind of partnership. So you can see that the process that we are on, the journey that we are on is, the future is bright. We are going to do a lot with the user group. So far, what we have done, the community member, they love it. And then some of our content we have uploaded to our YouTube channel, so people can also go there and watch. And all that. So I would say that so far the journey is good.
Awesome. Thank you, Cliff. The journey has been solid. Well, I'm going to bring on our other panel, our other speaker, which is Elliot. We're going to segue quickly into a quick conversation, or just a quick question, right? Icon Ghana.net membership application closed as at now. I don't think so. Our membership is actually, we don't have any cycle for our membership. So I'll reach out to you and try to understand, the issues you're having, so we can engage you on that. So before we get into the keynote, so today's lineup is, there's a global keynote by the Global AI Bootcamp community. They've created a keynote for us. It's a 30 minutes keynote, but bear with us. It is important that we share that content. And then after the keynote, we'll come and start with the very first session, which Elliot is going to lead in creating generative AI in Azure. But quick one. So question to you guys, quick one. What would you say, or what can you what's your take on AI, right? There's all this craziness about AI, and since this session or this bootcamp is AI themed, quick one. This is a very simple question, right? Are you for or against AI, and why? Briefly, quick, so that we go. I'll start with you. Since Elliot, you've not spoken, I'll start with you. You can introduce yourself before I get started, but simply, what's your take on AI? Are you for or against AI, and why? Elliot, you have the floor.
All right, thanks, Sam. So I'm actually for AI. The reason being that it has made our lives much more easier. Some tasks that could take ages have now become very easy to do within minutes or hours within the day. Some that could take months are now done within the day. So for it, because it has come to become our personal assistants to help us in whatever we do now. It is changing the world for us, and then yeah, that is a good enough reason for me to be for AI.
Okay,
Thank you.
so Elliot says he's for AI. Let me go to I'll let Mr. Odio have the last bite. So Clifford, what's your take?
Yeah, so for me, I would say that I'm in for AI. Nowadays, there's a lot of things that if you want to do, the AI can help you to do it faster. So it basically increase productivity. If you know what you are doing and if you understand what you are doing, the AI can help you to do it even faster. So I would say that the AI is playing major role in the modern development or in the modern tech ecosystem. So I'm in for AI. Yeah.
Excellent. Clifford is for AI. And then our charter president, Mr. Odum. What's your take?
Yeah, so I mean, as the other panelists said, AI definitely makes us, more effective or efficient. Yeah, and I'll want to probably talk about maybe application development perspective since I'm
Sure.
an engineer by background. So yeah, so now with AI, I mean, we're making applications more smarter. Back in the days, you could probably have a dashboard that, just reports historical data. But now with AI, you could, do forecasting and stuff like that um, quicker. And also we can bring some human capabilities into our application. So using things like computer vision, speech, and stuff like that, we can make applications smarter. And one thing I really love about AI is retrieval augmented generated stuff. So
Yeah,
like
right.
RAG, you could easily look through documents, without you could easily read through documents by querying using, like, let's say, a chatbot, over LLMs. You can just, query a document. It also helps in research a lot. I mean, it makes research much easier, and all that. So AI from the application side has brought a lot of, improvements, even if, products that are on the store. So yeah, I think AI has really come into play a very good role. And in using AI, we just have to be aware that there's also the responsibility or the ethical part of it. So we need to be aware that that responsible AI um, part is also put in account when we are building AI solutions. Yeah.
So, so interesting enough, I'm going to put this on the screen for everybody to see. So Ben said that I was expecting one of you to say they are against AI with some reasons. Well, you see, I wish I could have played that devil's advocate, Ben. But it's look, as you're going to hear Scott Hanselman, right, and other pioneers when it comes to the whole evolution of software engineering and AI guys, and they will tell you that look, yes, it's scary because now the rate at which it's evolving, right, it's massive. But in there, it's an efficiency. Scott Hanselman himself said that he used to be writing, shell script, PowerShell script, and now he has an AI co-pilot, that literally does that for him. And he's seen drastic improvement in it. But these are the kind of conversations we want to see coming. So keep the conversation coming. Um, I want to use this opportunity to wish all our able community women, our partners who understand the kind of role we're doing and support us, spiritually, physically, our parents, our sisters, our mothers, our girlfriends, all of them. Thank you very much. I want to wish you an International Women's Day. And I hope that the .NET community and other tech communities will make a push for a lot of, women, especially not just as community members, but also as part of the organization team and core key members. I want to draw the attention to the fact that this event is proudly sponsored by the global AI community, Microsoft. We have AfriLogic, and then it's powered by the Accra.net Azure user group. So With that said, okay, if we can't be allowed to use, okay, so there's an interesting, I this is a thing. Sorry, guys. AI conversations are very interesting to the extent that I think we need a whole, like, we need to have a whole virtual session just about, AI and all these things. Look, I have different varying opinion, and maybe I'll let you win. There's another there's another comment here. So I can Ghana says, if we can't be allowed to use AI in schools, then textbooks should also be banned. We only have to get learners generating their personal understanding from generative responses. Thank you. And I think maybe I'll let one of you have a bite. Maybe I'll let Frank have a bite of it. But yes, I have always been a proponent of this. That look, when the internet came, we had a lot of people who were against the internet, like, this is, going to be lazy people and all that. But today, research is a key component of education. I mean, from even today, I have a daughter in kindergarten, right? And sometimes the kind of homework she brings, I I I have to Google, right? Or I have to. So whether we like it or not, I'm of the view that education should also have a paradigm shift to understand that look, now we have assistive ways of learning or doing research. They might need to adjust their way of teaching, right? So maybe instead of penalizing people for saying, hey, you just use AI to, lift and shift, rather look at how people are being creative with the AI to come up with research and responses to, and that's just a surface. I don't know if Frank, you have a bite to this before we jump into the keynote. So
Yeah,
that we can track it. I don't think you have a
yeah.
bite to the, if you can share what
So
your thoughts on that.
yeah, just to quickly touch on currently there's something that we are working on for math teachers or math tutors, and basically it's a generative AI that is going to help them, be able to generate math questions from syllables, Bloom taxonomies, and teachers' guides. So AI itself, yes, should be employed in education. So I'm just giving an example, even from the teachers' bit, right? When like there are certain exams, you could use AI to do that. Now, the way that we are making the AI understand the context, and this project is being done in one of these African countries. We are doing it for one of the South African countries, and the way we are refining it is trying to let the AI understand the context of what their syllables and what the way they need to structure the exam questions. And we are working with the very excellent math tutors, on that project. So just for you to know, AI, yes, needs to be used in education and it shouldn't be left out. I mean, when it comes to AI, there's always pros and cons of everything, just like someone was talking about the internet. So it's the same with AI. There are definitely some cons that we can discuss if we had a debate or anything like that. But yes, I think the pros, would definitely outweigh the cons. So that's how I see it.
Awesome. Any of Clifford, Elliot, any of you have any take to add about that use of AI? Anybody wants to have a take before we go into our keynote? Okay, it looks like our panelists want to just get into the meat of it. So, we're going to jump into the global keynote. Stick and stay with us. Right after the keynote, we'll jump into the first session, which is going to be led by Elliot, and will show us how to, build AI, generative AI in Azure services. So we will be right back after the keynote. So let's watch this. And please, we also want to share that this live stream is going live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and I believe Twitch. So any of the platforms that you find yourself there, kindly let us know where you are coming from. And I also want to say that there is a participation badge. There is a digital badge that is issued by the Global AI Bootcamp community. We're going to share that, towards the end of today's session. Also, there's going to be Kahoot. We have a few stickers and swags to give out. So pay attention. Everything that our speakers are going to talk about, pay attention, because they're going to, they're going to be center stage in the Kahoot questions that we are going to be asking. So, welcome, Derek. Welcome. It's good to see you as well. Thank you, Bastian. Thank you. It's good to see you as well. So let's go for the keynote. Keep your questions coming. Let's engage as well as we get this going, and then we would be right back on this. So let's do this.
In AI, exploring how it's shaping the
Hi, I'm Asha Sharma, Corporate Vice President of AI Platform at Microsoft. And every day, I get to work with teams that are pushing the boundary of what AI can do. We're helping developers, scientists, businesses, and people around the entire world use AI to unlock new possibilities. AI is changing the way we build, it's changing the way we create, and how we innovate. And as developers, you are at the heart of this transformation. Whether you're working on applications, optimizing workflows, or pushing the boundaries of what is possible, AI is no longer a future technology. It is here, it is right now, and it is shaping the way that we work and the way that we live. Now, the beauty of AI is that it's not just for researchers and scientists in a lab. It's actually for every single developer. From integrating AI-powered tools in your daily workflows to building the next generation of applications, AI is an amplifier of human potential, and the best part, the tools and models are available today to make it more accessible than ever before. So in this keynote, we're going to take you on a journey through AI for developers. You're going to hear from some of the brightest minds in the industry about why AI matters, how Python has been so foundational to AI's rise, the latest advancements in AI agents, and how we can all build AI responsibly. The opportunity is in front of us, and it's massive. As developers, you're not just coding, you're shaping the future. Whether you're just getting started with AI or you're already building with it, there has never been a better time to dive in. So, welcome to the Global AI Bootcamp 2025.
Thank you, Asha, for setting the stage for today's keynote. AI is transforming the way we build software, and as developers, we have a huge opportunity to be part of this revolution.
I'm Roland, and this is Sammy, and we'll be your host as we travel to speak with some of the most influential voices in AI, exploring how it's shaping development, what's next, and how we can all get started.
Behind the scenes, our third board member and producer, making all of this possible, Genk, who's ensuring we capture every moment and bringing you the best conversations.
This keynote is part of the Global AI Community, an independent organization with over 85,000 members worldwide. Right now, all over the world, bootcamps are taking place in over 100 locations, just like this one. And together, we're reaching more than 250,000 people around the world.
Now, this is more than just an event, it's a movement. A global effort to help developers of all backgrounds to learn, build, and grow in AI. And today we're kicking things off with someone who knows exactly why developers need to embrace AI, Scott Hanselman.
Scott is a developer, educator, tech leader who's passionate about making AI accessible to everyone. So let's dive into why learning AI is essential for developers. Hi Scott, we're here with the Global AI Community at the Global AI Bootcamp. Could you please help us make sense of what's happening in the AI space?
I think it's getting a little out of control. I know that everyone's excited about AI, but I think it's a great opportunity at the AI Bootcamp for everyone to just chill out a little bit. You don't have to put AI on everything. Additionally, I think it's important for us to remember that AI sits on top of data science, on machine learning, on deep learning, on statistics itself. And while it feels like AI just came out last year and we should all pivot and run in the direction of AI, in fact, it's been around for a very long time, and there's a lot of really great experts, some of which we've collected today, that can put this stuff into context. So I'm excited about AI, but let's all just chill.
And during this keynote, we're coming from several different angles, and hopefully you can shed some light on the developer side of things. Why should they start learning AI today?
Well, I remember when I went from a black and white screen to a color screen, and I got syntax highlighting, and I was looking at code that wasn't all one color, and then I got autocomplete, and then I got IntelliSense, and now I've got spicy autocomplete because I've got GitHub Copilot that can help me as a developer, not just generate code, but better understand my code. I tend to use the Socratic method, and I interview GitHub Copilot as if it were an intern that was helping me with my code. Developers should think about what AI could do for them while they're writing code, what it can do for their DevOps experience while they're maintaining their sites, and then what it can do for their customers, because not everything needs a copilot and not everything needs a chatbot, but little strategic uses of AI within an application can really make it a user's experience a lot better. And I think developers need to look at the full spectrum of things that GPTs can offer.
As the vice president of developer communities, you must talk to a lot of developers just feeling overwhelmed. Where should they start?
I think that's a great point. People are overwhelmed. People are worried about their jobs. People are worried about where they fit. And I think that you are smarter than the AI. We need to remember that this is an artificial intelligence. We are creative, we are intelligent, and we are in the driver's seat. So it's not going to be AI that takes your job. It's going to be some nameless, faceless suit out there in the world. And what we need to do is figure out how we can use AI to make our jobs better, easier, more fun, how we can reduce toil. That word toil is one that I've really been focusing on. Which parts of my job are boring and tedious? Before AI, I would automate a lot of those things by writing batch files and PowerShell scripts. Now I'm using AI to write batch files and PowerShell scripts to automate the most boring parts of my job so I can focus on the fun, creative stuff.
The role is constantly changing for developers. What are some practical things they can do to infuse AI?
Well, you mentioned how do they educate themselves, and I didn't answer that well because I feel like people need to know that there's a ton of free courseware. Like if you go to developer.microsoft.com/AI, right on the top there's 3 main links that point to MIT licensed open source GitHub repositories with full courses. You can do a course in a weekend, or you can have a full 26-week course that you could teach at the university level. And I think understanding at some depth how these things work. If you treat AI as a scary black box that you send strings to and strings come back, I think you're going to be unhappy as a developer. But if you understand what's really going on at the math level beneath, it'll help you better contextualize AI in your life and how you want to fit it into your work.
So that really fits into knowing that one level deeper you always talk about.
Yeah.
How can we ensure developers don't skip that step with a lot of things they do because those LLMs are way too smart?
That is a great point. They do feel smart. It is easy to be amazed when a parrot talks back and you go, wow, that parrot speaks English. That's amazing. But the parrot is only parroting back what it hears around them. For us to really understand that AIs learn from your data, and they are nothing without your data. So if your company does not have your data organized in a useful fashion, then your AI is going to produce garbage. And that's why remembering that the data that you have, the information that you have as a person, or the information that your company has collected in data and data lakes makes the AI better. Understanding that relationship and learning about that is going to make you a lot more effective as a developer.
Thank you so much for that developer angle for this keynote. Is there one last thing? What do we really need to start doing as developers?
I think we should also spend some time thinking about ethics and responsibility, and we should spend time looking at the work that real thinkers around sociology and psychology are thinking about AI. How we interact with them, whether or not we pretend that they are people, or whether we realize that they are in fact tools. So don't just spend time teaching yourself the technical aspects of AI, also think about the ethical and the responsible AI things. And we've got resources on those as well.
That's a very good point. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We just learned why AI is a must-learn for every developer and how it's reshaping the industry. But how did we get there? To understand the rise of AI, we need to talk about Python, the language at the heart of it all. And who better to guide us than the man who created Python himself, Guido van Rossum. Have you ever envisioned that Python would be as big as it is right now, with everything how it's used in the AI?
Never. Every time I realize it's grown another 10-20%, I'm surprised.
Were there anything particular for you that were built at that time that you thought it could become something big?
I didn't have any sort of major examples of things that had become big that I wanted to follow. I mean, remember, I started it in 1990, and the word open source had not been invented. There were like a few things that were released under a license that is now recognized as open source. And I did take that as an example, but just as an example for the license, not as an example for how successful I wanted Python to be. I just wanted to share it and I wanted to have fun developing it.
It's nothing small anymore, the language you created at that time. We see many different libraries like PyTorch and Scikit and TensorFlow and so on. Did you ever think about how that really changed the AI world?
No, the AI angle was a complete surprise to me. When I started Python in the early 90s, it was still in the middle of the AI winter, so AI was not on my mind at all. Although my main focus was still on professionals. I think the first tagline I ever had was something like fills the gap between C and shell.
Was there anything particular that you tried to focus on development to get it more accessible to everyone?
Making the language more accessible were a few bits of philosophy that I inherited from another language, and that was about making programming less complex, less complicated by, for example, using indentation instead of curly braces or begin-end blocks.
How did you get all that feedback? Was it from a couple of people, or was there more people involved to get it to where it is right now?
Oh, there's been a huge community. As soon as we open sourced it, my inbox started overflowing with feedback from people who sort of picked it up, managed to build it, and immediately saw the potential for their use cases.
Was there one particular package that you think of that's like, okay, this really changed Python into a data science language?
I think that must have been NumPy or its predecessor, numeric Python, because that sort of suddenly gave Python an ability that it didn't natively have, which was sort of efficient representation of large arrays of numbers. For me, that sort of one big moment was when TensorFlow came out, which was produced by a famous Googler, Jeff Dean. And when I worked at Google, he had never given me the time of day because he was so important at Google and I was just a low individual contributor. And I didn't think that he or any of the other big Googlers cared much about Python because it was just a scripting language and all the important work was done in C++. So I was quite surprised and also felt vindicated that TensorFlow, even though it's still written in C++ and for good reasons, the user interface is actually you write scripts in Python.
So that was a proud moment.
That was a very proud moment when I saw that the first line of code on the TensorFlow docs was import TensorFlow.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Now, you started with something small, became quite big to what it is right now. There's many people who would like to follow your steps. What advice would you be able to give someone who wants to create their own language or even want to create just another application?
If you want to create an application, go for it. For people who want to create their own language, the standard recommendation is go take some rest and wait for the feeling to pass, because that sort of, it's unlikely to be successful, and even if it's not, it'll consume your life. On the other hand, if the feeling doesn't pass, go ahead and learn everything you need to learn from looking at other languages, how they're implemented, how they're used, what their syntax flaws are, because language designers all steal from each other.
Python is still your little baby, I would say. It's not a little one, I guess. And it will
grown into Godzilla.
Well, and it will always follow you. We saw the number plate of your car. It also says Python, so it's really your thing. We're very happy with what you've set up at that time. And we thank you for your time today also.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Python's simplicity and power has made AI accessible to developers worldwide. And it's the foundation of many of the breakthroughs we see today. Now, one of the most exciting areas of AI is the rise of intelligent agents. AI systems that can think, act, and learn in real time. Now, to break this down, let's hear from Jennifer Marsman. She's the principal AI engineer in the office of the CTO at Microsoft. Jennifer, Could you please explain to us what AI agents are and what they are doing?
Yes. So an AI agent is simply a software process that you can delegate a chunk of work to, much like you could to a human colleague. So if you think about scenarios like customer service and software development, we're seeing a lot of that where people are able to utilize agents for help and augment their own capabilities with this work. But we're still very much in the early days of agents. So we believe that in order for agents to reach their true potential, we need a more robust infrastructure surrounding them. So not only the core foundation models, but three key things, and that is memory, entitlements, and actions. So let me break those things down. By memory, I mean that these agents should have a context of not only the information that they need to solve the problem, but also information about previous interactions with the user. And that can lead to a more personalized and relevant experience. Then there's entitlements. Now, entitlements mean permissions. So if an agent is doing something on behalf of me, it should only have access to the things that I have read access to, and it should be able to only take actions that I have permissions to take. And then finally, there is the idea of actions. So if you have an agent that is, for instance, booking a restaurant reservation for you, you need to go beyond just the natural language capabilities of the model and actually call out to code. And so that's what tool use enables you to do with these agents.
Because of what new enhancements that we see or developments in the AI world are agents now so popular?
Well, I think that the capabilities of these foundation models continue to grow and expand and become even more powerful. And so what we see as a result of that is that now these foundation models are able to handle more complex, sophisticated tasks, and we're calling those reasoning models. And so what you see these agents now able to do is, instead of just calling a model and getting a response back within a few seconds, the model is given a little bit more time to ruminate on an answer and really walk through a process of chain of thought reasoning, and then be able to come up with answers to more complex questions. So it's empowered a whole new category of abilities to these agents.
You told us before already that you work with Fortune 100 companies in the office of the CTO. Any use case that you're really surprised of where AI agents were used?
The most exciting thing to me is actually the diversity of use cases that we've been able to do. There's been a number of things, from looking at ideas like fraud detection and financial services, to looking at the entertainment industry and things like planning vacations and things like that, to financial services, to healthcare, to retail and shopping. So there's really been a wide variety of use cases that we've seen.
How do you see the future of the use of AI agents in the day-to-day life?
Well, I actually had one of the most magical moments with one of the reasoning models. When I was doing early testing on a reasoning model, the O1 preview, the scenario that I tried was actually something that I was doing for myself in my personal life. I have 3 children, and they're all in different grades. One is in middle school, high school, and elementary school. And I was trying to sign them up for camps for the summer. And in my area, the camps are very complex. And so what I did is I actually wrote a prompt that described my 3 kids. Here are my 3 kids and what grade they're in and their interests. And then I threw that whole catalog, like the text of all of those summer camps, at the prompt and said, help me figure out, write me a matrix of each week of the summer by each kid and what camp they should be in. And it did it. And that was just this amazing moment, because that is a very, very complex constraint satisfaction problem where it had to keep track of a lot of nuanced detail. And the model was able to do that. And that was really exciting to see.
So we already see a lot of developers trying to build AI agents. What advice could you give them to bring it to the next level?
Well, there's 2 things I would say. The first thing is, instead of focusing on what an agent is or is not, really focus on what is the value that an agent could bring to you? What is the things that you could automate away, or the product value that you can give to your customers, or the way you can best, serve others by creating a better service experience? I don't think we've actually hit the bottom of everything that we can do with just GPT 4.0. Like these foundation models have such amazing capabilities. Like the more you dig, the more things you play with, the more experimenting you do, the more you find like new capabilities that you wouldn't think they could do.
I think the word experimenting is probably the most important one as the advice.
It really is. Yeah. It really is.
Thank you very much, Jennifer, for that advice.
Yes, keep playing.
AI agents are transforming how we interact with technology, enabling smarter automation and more intuitive user experiences. But as AI systems grow more powerful, we must also ensure they remain fair, transparent, responsible. To explore this critical topic, let's hear from Sarah Bird. Hi Sarah, you lead the Responsible AI initiative at Microsoft. You start with a big question. Why do you think responsible AI is such a critical element now in the entire AI landscape?
You say it's a big question, but I feel like it's actually a really easy question because who wants to use an AI system that they don't trust, right? We see the potential of AI to change how we do everything, right? How we communicate with other people, how we work, how we have fun. But those are important areas of our life. We're not going to want to use AI for that if we can't trust it to behave in the way we want, aligned with the things we care about. We need to make sure that it's secure, that it's safe, that it keeps our information private. And so I don't see how we get the exciting AI future if we don't figure out the responsible AI piece. We have to have the critical tools and technologies to make sure that we can build AI systems that we can control and that people trust with good reason.
Of course, developers building these AI systems face many challenges. Do you have any insight in how to implement those amazing AI features responsibly in their systems?
Yeah, I think first, let me acknowledge that there are many challenges with generative AI, and not only many of them, but a really wide range. When this technology came onto the scene, we of course, cared about things that we've been talking about in responsible AI for a while, like, is the system fair? Is it stereotyping? But we also saw new types of risks, like does it produce copyright material that you don't want to be using in your downstream application? The systems are exposed to new types of attacks, like prompt injection attacks. And so with this much bigger range of things to be concerned about, and it's growing every day, in fact, we are seeing some of the newer technology. We have to be concerned, someday is this going to be able to produce formulas for chemical weapons? Is this something that can cause much bigger risk? And so with this kind of growing set of risk, it's really important that we have a plan when we're building an AI system to be able to both understand what risks are in the system, be able to build a system that is safe by design, and then also to be able to test that system so that you know that those mitigations you built in are actually effective. And then after you tested it and you feel like, okay, it's working and you want to ship it, you also need to monitor and figure out what's going on, right? Adversaries find new ways to use systems. Users find exciting new ways to use systems that maybe you didn't plan for, and so it's not behaving how you expected. And so we really look at this complete playbook, and that's something that we expect every developer is going to need to do if they're building with AI.
And that's such a valuable insight, because that has been the case, of course, with software, even without AI features, that we should really test and monitor and keep monitoring. And sometimes we forget with these cool new things that we also need to do these important aspects of AI.
I love that you said that, because I regularly joke when I'm talking to people that, the novel thing we've been doing to ship AI is test it, right? And obviously anyone in software engineering should be laughing, because it's not novel that we need to test systems. But to be honest, very few people who are building on top of AI were really testing at the level that's needed. And certainly when generative AI came onto the scene, we found that you need a lot more testing because it's so powerful and it's so flexible. So you have a lot of control over how it behaves in terms of how you configure the meta prompt, how you configure safety systems, how you feed the data into the system. And so with all of that power and flexibility, it can behave very, very differently. And so you have to test it and you have to fine tune it to get to something that is really what you want to ship.
Developers are, of course, still learning how to develop these systems, how to implement AI. How do you suppose they can juggle the constant having to or able to be injecting new AI features with the other side and doing that responsibly in respect to ethics and constantly being under pressure of the business?
Yeah, I think this question is often posed as a trade-off. But if we go back kind of to what I was saying at the beginning, I don't think there is a real trade-off here, because if you're shipping a system without responsible AI, most people aren't even going to be comfortable to use it. And so, at Microsoft, we very much, in our own practice of this, view it as just part of shipping the AI system, right? That it's not complete until we've done the appropriate testing, until it's working the way that, we actually want it to behave. And so we've kind of gotten out of the mindset that this is a trade-off. Now, we recognize that the market's moving really quickly, and we also want to innovate very quickly. And so a lot of our investment is figuring out how we do all of the responsible AI practices at the speed in which AI is moving. And for example, one of the things we've built is what you would call kind of automated red teaming, or we call it safety evaluations. But this is taking the tests that we think are important and using AI to run those tests against systems and scale that up. And so we've got a robust testing system that just every team in the company can run. And so they don't all have to spend time investing in their own testing. They can start from what we've already built and customize it. And so a lot of our approach of making this not a trade-off is really figuring out how to build the right tools to scale it up, to make sure that everyone can use the same tool, and make sure we're just getting it right in one place and that people can build on top of that. And so we think, the same thing for our customers or for developers. I'm lucky to be at Microsoft, where we might have more responsible AI experts than probably any organization in the world. And that's a great privilege. And so we can invest a lot in this space, but not every organization can do that. And so our job is to build tools and technologies that other people can just use and build on top of, so that you don't have to start from scratch, so that it doesn't need to be a trade-off.
What would be your one tip for the developer?
Test your systems, right? We've always known that the best software practice is to test your systems. And with AI, you have to be more thoughtful and test for a wider range of things, but it's still the same thing. Test your systems.
So true. Thank you so much for being here and sharing all these valuable insights with us. And it was great having you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to see what everyone builds.
We've just heard from some of the top minds in AI about why this technology is transforming the way we build software, how Python has been foundational to its growth, and the latest advancements shaping the future. But here's the thing. Learning about AI isn't just for experts, it's for every developer, including you. That's why we're so excited for you to take the next step at your local bootcamp. This is your chance to get hands-on, experiment with AI, collaborate with peers, and start building. Whether you're brand new to AI or already coding with it, there's something for everyone. We also want to take a moment to say a huge thank you to all the local organizers who have made these bootcamps possible. Your dedication and effort are what makes this community so incredible. And don't forget, make sure to request your badge and register on globalai.community. This is your gateway to staying connected, accessing more learning resources, and being part of a growing global network of AI enthusiasts and developers. The future of AI isn't just being built in research labs. It's being built by developers like you, in communities all around the world. This bootcamp is your opportunity to explore, create, and be part of something bigger. So let's get started. Dive in, ask questions, build something amazing, and most importantly, have fun. We can't wait to see what you create. The next AI breakthrough could start right here with you. So join the community, claim your badge, and let's go.
So that was the official keynote from the global team. You had the stories, all the interesting stories that they shared with us. You know, should we be afraid of AI to the extent that people are using it for, suggestions, are using it for development, are using it for business growth? And it's something that I have always been advocating and talking about. Yesterday in my streams, I mentioned this, that look, it is high time you aligned with AI. And I see some conversations happening in the chat about especially the use of AI in schools. So that's just one scenario. There is suppose I feel there's we need to have a complete paradigm shift on how even the use of AI, even AI in government, AI in healthcare, AI in agriculture, AI in finance, AI in insurance. You think about it, the exceptional and excellent use cases that are moving around that I believe we need to capitalize on and get that started. So, what do we have next? So, we're done with our keynote. Just reviewing my we're moving into our session where we're going to have our first speaker, who is going to be in the person of Elliot Hour, to share with us getting started with generative AI in Azure. So what we've tried to do is to curate. We know the whole, the talk on AI and stuff is there, but right now what we want to do is to literally, curate the session so that you have a hands-on experience. So we are walking you through what we want to share with you. So let's see if I can bring, and Elliot, if you have some slides to share as well as a demo. So let me go ahead and bring our speaker for the next session up here, and let's do this. So Elliot, you are next speaker. We're going to be talking about getting started with generative AI. Before we get into it, can you share with us briefly what generative AI is, and also what are we to expect, in your session before I move it, I hand it over to you to jump into that session. And also, I think you have slides, right? So maybe you can share your screen so we can have your slides. But in the meantime, if you can tell us, what you're going to you're going to be showing us, or what you're going to be demoing for us, just to keep our audience abreast with what they are expected to see.
All right. Thank you, Samuel. So, let me put this.
And whilst Elliot is getting ready, I'd like to invite all of you to drop in the comment sections or in the chat box across all the platforms you're watching us from. Kindly drop your questions, drop your suggestions, drop your contentions, drop your disagreement about AI. And an interesting thing you want to see is that share your AI story with us, the good, the bad, the ugly, any encounter with AI, any epiphany moment, just share it with us. We're putting it there, and we'll see who has the best stories, and we'll probably award the best stories as well. Like I mentioned, at the end of this bootcamp, we are going to issue digital badges for people that participate. So Stick and Stay will put a QR code there and the code that you use to claim your digital badge for being part of the show. Philip Labby, thank you. Welcome to the stream. So please share, at least when you join the stream, tell us, hey, I'm joining from Accra, and then maybe your one liner about what AI is, or what your understanding of your AI is, and let's get the conversation going. Let's engage. AI insecurity, yes, that's a very good one. Someone is talking about AI insecurity, and before Elliot goes in there, I think I can tell you something real quick. Some of the security companies, especially Microsoft and the others, are actually investing in using AI to actually start blocking malware and all these threats advance, because again, AI is able to do that in mostly record time. So yeah, there are a lot of use cases for that. Let's have the conversation in the chat. I hand it back to Elliot. And if you can drop your share, I'll make that available also for our viewers. So Elliot, over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. So, if you have to talk about generative AI, it refers to artificial intelligence that can generate new content like text, images, music, videos, and even code based on patterns that has learned from existing data, more times large data sets. So in this lesson, you should expect um, how generative AI can take in text from input from users and then bring out very, very informative answers or even images based on descriptions that people have made and all that. So let's go into our session. So before I start, I'd like to welcome you all to this session on how to get started with Azure AI Agent Service. So before we kick things off, let's take a look at the statement. Generative AI is a forefront of this revolution, unlike traditional AI that analyzes existing data to make predictions. Generative AI creates new content. Yes, it creates new content. This could be anything from generating human-like text, creating images, to composing music. I can say the possibilities are actually endless. But in the past few years, we've seen generative AI make incredible strides. Tools like GPT-3, DALI have shown us how AI can write coherent essays and generate artwork from text descriptions, and even develop new software code. These advancements are not just theoretical, they are being integrated into real-world applications, transforming industries from entertainment to healthcare. So today we'll explore how generative AI works, showcase some cutting-edge applications, and discuss how you can leverage Azure to bring your AI-powered ideas to life. So let's get to it. So talking about generative AI in our lives. So as we all know, generative AI is not a concept of the future anymore. It's already here. Then it has made significant impact on our lives. So as you can see here, we have a slide that shows how quickly generative AI has been adopted. And then let's compare them against how other technologies have impacted and have been able to reach millions of users. If you look at mobile phones, it took 16 years to reach 100 million users. For the internet, it took 7 years, and for Facebook, it took 4.5 years. But our power here, Chat GPT-3, took only 3 months. Like 3 months. Yeah, this adoption of ChatGPT has highlighted incredible demand and excitement around generative AI. Transferred Elizabeth that took like the other people, mobile phones, internet, and Facebook years to achieve. This growth is very explosive. It has shown that not only it, um, this growth demonstrates not only the power and potential of generative AI, but also its immediate relevance and utility. So people are embracing these new tools to enhance creativity, productivity, and problem solving in unprecedented ways. So as you go on, we'll see more innovative applications of generative AI, transforming various sectors and everyday experiences. It's clear that it's not in our life, it's not only in our lives, but it's reshaping them at an astonishing pace. So let's look at Microsoft's AI journey. So yeah, their journey with AI has been a very long and dedicated effort, and then these milestones are showing their pursuit of innovation with AI. So their commitment began 3 decades ago with the establishment of Microsoft Research back in the 90s, this 1991. So in that one, we experienced an AI-driven assistance with Clippy. For sure, most of us are aware with it. It was something that was popular back in the days. And then we went on to the release of Kinect, which that was 2010, which has revolutionized gaming with motion sensing technology, demonstrating the potential of AI in new domains. So by 2014, Cortana brought new standards, brought advanced voice recognition to millions and millions of people, setting a new standard for virtual assistants. Now we move on to 2019 when Microsoft invested into OpenAI. It was a very strategic move, and now it's paying off for them. And then later on, back in 2020, they solidified their dedication to AI integrity with responsible AI strategies and then a responsible AI standard version 2 in 2022. And then recently in 2023, they unveiled the Microsoft Copilot, that is the latest leap in AI-assisted development, highlighting their vision for future of intelligence applications. So these milestones are not just achievements, they represent our continuous journey and steadfast commitment to making AI an integral, responsible, and transformative part of our world. This is the legacy of a company that we've always believed in the power of AI to shape a better future. So that said, let's go through some few demos. First one I would like to go through is text-to-speech generation. Sorry. Let's move here. Okay. So we'll go to speech.microsoft.com, which is portal. So if you want to access something like this, you would have to have a Microsoft Azure account. And when you register with it, you have a free, I think free $200 credit to work with it. So let's hop on to our first demo, which is text-to-speech using an avatar. So over here, we can choose any avatar we want. So let's see. I'll choose to go with Jeff. We'll come to the text box and then give a simple message for everyone. So hello everyone, and welcome to the global AI community Bootcamp. So now once that is done, we'll generate our video. So this will take a few seconds to do. Right, so after all that is done, we click on play. Yeah, so just so that we've been able to generate text-to-speech. So we put in our text and then it generated the sound together with the video for us. Let's move on to our next. Sorry. Our next demo, which is the live chat avatar. So we go back to Speech Studio. We choose, sorry, I went too fast. We choose live chat avatar. Now you can try to do a sample, but then we'll try our own. Okay, so over here I can see you. I can click on the mic and say, hello, how are you doing? Do you know about the global AI community? What is their main goal? Right. So you can also decide to change the voice. So I can see Andrew, or I can change the language to any of these, or even make it Wati language. And even I can come here and then type the text myself. So let's move to our third demo in the session, which is a video translation demo. So I'm here. So when you come here, you can create a project, browse through your files, and then any video that you have that you want to translate, you can upload it here. So for me, I pre-recorded a video down. So do that and then upload it. So we can translate it to any language we want. So I can say Chinese. Then we acknowledge and accept. Then this will take, but then I have one that I have done already. So I can just click it. And here I use German as the output language. So first off, let's try the original video. Listen to what he has to say. Waiting for it to load up. Okay, so our video is ready. I click on play. It seems there's a problem with the sound. Let me try again.
So Elliot, it looks as if we're having a challenge with the audio from your side. I let's see if we can, if the project is still within that space. Let's see if maybe after the session I can, is the project, is this in the same speech studio that we use for that was set up?
Yes, yes. But then I'm trying one more thing to see.
Okay. Okay.
So
All right.
let me test this out.
So while we're waiting for Elliot to resolve the issue, I believe that there has been some questions coming in, some interesting questions on. We see all those joining from Legon, Kwabinya, East Legon. We see you. There's a biggest challenge in Ghana. There's a question here that I want to share. Says the biggest challenge in Ghana now is a lot of schools, especially SAH, JHS, and primary, do not have access to computers. Basic keyboard and mouse skills is even a problem with schools, and some teachers we need to do a lot for. I agree with you. I agree with you, my friend. There is the need for infrastructure. Uh, New Tech Alert joining from Pentecost University. We see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Elliot, if your audio is back now, we can switch back to you. But interesting conversations happening. I agree that the foundations, we need the foundations of the you're talking about fast internet, you're talking about good access to computers to do that. Anyway, Elliot, I'm going to take it back to you, and then we can have the conversation after your presentation.
Um, okay. So yes. Since I'm still having this problem, um,
Do I have to try to connect to your speech studio and share? Is that the last demo? Is that the last demo, or there's another one?
yes, that's the last demo in this part.
Okay, so let's do this. Maybe after that, what we can do is let's have the second session. Let's have the second session, and then we'll be probably be working on the second session while the second session is going, and then we'll probably come back with that, if that's okay. So maybe I can try to check it out from here and walk through that steps. So are you going back to your slides? Do you have slides to conclude with?
Yes, there's more to go.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. So you just finish. Once you finish, don't worry about it. We'll come back to the demo after your session, so that we'll take time to fix that. So you continue with your session.
Okay.
And can you share the screen? Can you share your presentation again so we can have that on screen for our viewers?
All right. So moving on to Microsoft Azure AI. So Microsoft Azure AI services are available from translation to speech to document intelligence. All these tools are available in the Microsoft Azure AI. So let's explore the core components of Azure AI. So we have the Azure AI services. These are pre-trained turnkey solutions that allow you to add intelligent capabilities to your applications quickly and easily. And then we have Azure Machine Learning. This platform offers comprehensive tools for designing, training, and managing AI models, supporting you through the entire lifecycle of AI development. And then we have responsible AI tooling. This one ensures that our applications are trustworthy by design, because this is a very crucial factor, because nobody would like to be working with an AI that is not trustworthy and all that, as was said in the video earlier. And then we have Azure AI Studio, which is at the heart of everything. This platform allows us to develop and deploy custom co-pilots, providing a seamless experience for creating AI solutions tailored to our needs. So when we put all this together, they create a robust ecosystem that empowers you and I to develop intelligent, responsible, and highly customized AI applications with ease. And moving on to Azure AI Foundry. So for those of us that are not familiar with this, this tool is unified. It's a unified hub to help build generative AI applications in Azure and explore the Azure AI features. So the playground within the studio will be using them to it offers a graphical user interface that we'll be using to make a lot of models depending on whatever we want. And we have the Copilot stack that it includes both Microsoft Copilot and then a custom Copilot app, which you can custom make to do whatever process you want. Then it allows to extend and tailor AI capabilities to meet any specific need that you want. And this session focuses on the custom Copilot's core, their core AI capabilities, which are the AI orchestration and toolchain, foundation models, and then which is using your data and then the AI infrastructure. Then one common question that is usually asked is, which one should I use? So these two, either AI Foundry or Copilot Studio. So it depends. So if you are looking to work with models from OpenAI, then the Azure OpenAI Foundry is your best option. It allows you to leverage powerful models like GPT-3, GPT-4, and DALL-E, which is used for image generation. Also, if you're looking for a more comprehensive platform to cover the entire AI development lifecycle, the AI Foundry is ideal. It provides a wide range of AI services and models, allowing for rapid prototyping and development. Then, for those who need extensive low-code integration capabilities, Copilot is the way to go. It features over 1,400 connectors right off out of the box and supports creating custom connectors. This makes it easy to integrate with platforms like Microsoft Teams, Facebook, and Slack. And all of them are designed to meet specific needs. So whichever need that you have, you just have to use it. You just have to make the right choice from that and to be a good solution for your AI project. So we'll be looking at how language models work. So before diving into how to use LLMs for text generation scenarios, let's look at how the inner mechanisms work. So first of all, the model receives a natural language input, and then the input is tokenized, split, and then converted into values that the model can use. So it inputs through here, and then it will then tokenize the data, and then the, um, the tokenized data will then be fed into the model. So the model is like a transformer architecture based neural network. We don't have time to explain that now, but maybe another time. So the goal of this model is to predict the next word in a sequence, which leads to the model sampling a probability distribution that results in a final text or token output. So the text goes in, tokenization, and then the model which it gets the results, and then we get a probability distribution, which will then give out a natural language output. So the general idea is text gets converted into a token, and then the tokens are normally numbers, and then the numbers go into the model, and then the model samples the probability distribution and outputs the natural language, which is a single token. So this is a simple explanation of it. So n tokens, any number of tokens can go in, but then it's always one token that comes out. So to clarify what a token is, it is not a letter or a word. In the case of OpenAI, it's a short sequence of letters. For example, a token can be we need yes we this whole sentence, we take this, like these colors separates them into the token. So when you feed the whole text inputs like this, it breaks them down into tokens like this. So it takes this and then to convert them into numbers. And then OpenAI has a tokenizer that when you feed values into it, it will bring out the tokens for you. So this is how the tokenizer looks like. So you feed text like this into it, and then it will show you the number of tokens it has gotten from it, and then the number of characters in the text. So this is how it looks. You see the colors are showing the breakdown of the tokens that are put in here. And then when you switch to token IDs, these are the numbers that are then going to be fed into the model. And then everything will come out as the natural one token. We'll put back. So let's look at how they generate text. So one of the key concepts we grasp here is tokenization. So the large language models receive the text as inputs and then produce the text as outputs. But these models work much more efficiently with numbers than with raw text sequences. That is where the tokenizer comes into play. Yes. So a token is essentially a chunk of text which can vary in length and typically consists of a sequence of characters. The tokenizer's primary job is to break down the input text into an array of these tokens. And then once you have these tokens, they are further mapped into token indices. These token indices are essentially integer encodings of original text chunks, making it easier for the model to process and understand. So now let's move to predicting output tokens. Given an input sequence of n tokens with a maximum n varying from one model to another. The model is designed to predict a single token as its output. But here's the interesting part. The predicted token is then incorporated into the input of the text of the next iteration, creating an expanding window pattern. This pattern allows the model to provide more coherent and contextual relevant responses, often extending to one or multiple sentences. So we have these sentences. So, sorry. All the light parts are the in, and then the out parts are the lighter version. So we need to stop. We need to stop anthropo, and then we need to stop anthropomorph. So all these out parts are then taken out, and then it forms the output, which is then fed back into the model for iteration until we get a much more meaningful data. So you give it tokens, it produces one token out. Then it incorporates that output as part of the input of the next iteration, and so on until some stopping condition. So now we're diving into the selection process. The model will choose output token based on the sequence. So it chooses the output token based on its probability of occurring after the current text sequence. This probability distribution is calculated using the model's training data. However, there's a twist. The model doesn't always choose the token with the highest probability from the distribution. To simulate the process of creative thinking, a degree of randomness is introduced into the selection process, making these models non-deterministic. This means that the model doesn't produce the same output for the same inputs every time. That's the element that allows generative AI to generate texts that feels creative and engaging. Two methods of measurement you can adjust to affect the output are temperature and peak of value. So with the temperature, you often see from a scale of 0 to 1 and controls creativity or randomness, lowering the temp and randomness. So lowering the temperature will create a more deterministic result, whereas increasing it will increase the randomness. Then with the p-top value, you also see on a scale of 0 to 1, but this essentially limits the sampling to the top 10% of likely values, which are deterministic and focused. Whereas when you set it to 0.5, it will allow the model to sample from a broader set of possibilities, which is more creative. What you need will depend on your use case. So 0.1 is the top 10% of values, which is deterministic or end focused, and then 0% is 50%, which is creative writing. So the next most likely token is the only thing it does. So interacting with the LLMs now. Let's explain this concept more. So we have something called prompt engineering. So as the definition says, it is a concept in natural language processing that involves embedding descriptions of tasks in output to prompt the model to output the desired results. So it typically includes problem descriptions, instructions. Sorry, it typically introduces problem descriptions, instructions on how to solve the problem, and examples of correct problem and solution pairs. So we have something like text to text. So this is the most basic way to interact with the LLM, sending a message to the LLM and then it's responding with an answer. So here we have a question here. What is the largest ocean in the world? Then it responds. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean in the world, covering around 63 million square miles. And then we have text to image. So an example of a model which is optimized to produce images is
I think we lost Elliot for a moment. Let me bring him back. Yes, I think Elliot, you're back. Sorry, there was a technical hitch there. Please continue.
okay. So I was saying the latest in the family of DALI 3 is DALI 3, which is a transformer like GPT-4, trained to generate images from text descriptions using a data set of text image pairs. So if you send a description of what you want, like what I have here, a close-up of cute raccoon walking through the forest with photorealistic texture and lighting, this is the image it returns back to us. So with this, it has a diverse set of capabilities, including creating anthropomorphized versions of animals and objects, combining unrelated concepts in plausible ways, rendering text and applying transformations to existing images. So it extends zero shot reasonings to the visual domain. Then the DALI family of models apply the same architecture we've seen for language models on the visual domain, where tokens can be either textual or image tokens, describing the subject of the image. So what it does is, when you describe the subject of the image, let's say a person or an animal, and the action, what the thing is doing. So if you come here, we said a close-up of a cute raccoon, and then the action was walking through the forest. And then if you provide an environment details like outdoor, in kitchen, at night, and lightning, which we have here, photorealistic texture and lightning. And then we find a texture style, which is over here, the photorealistic texture. And then sending it to the window, and then it returns back an image that we want. Then we have text and image to text. So a model, I think GPT-4 Turbo with vision is a multimodal model which we can use for something like this. So the model that is being used here is the GPT-4 Turbo. We upload an image and then we ask it what is on this image, and then it will return a description and what is on the image. So the assistant here is saying the image shows a raccoon in a forest setting. The raccoon is looking directly at the camera with large, expressive eyes. The forest in the background is lush and green with sunlight filtering through the trees, creating a serene and enchanting atmosphere. So what it does is that it takes the text and image and then it incorporates both natural language processing and then visual understanding. And then using the GPT-4 with a vision model, it answers general questions about what was present in the image and text that you had uploaded. So let's talk about this concept, system message. So earlier on, we saw a prompt being sent to the model and then we got a response back. But because these models are non-deterministic, the response can be different every time. And also we cannot have control over the tone of the model or the length of the response. So the system message will guide the model to generate better answers that you want. So in this prompt, we can provide additional context to the model to generate a response. So over here, without the system message, when you ask it a question, what is your name? It will give the reply, I don't have a name, but you can call me assistant. How can I help you today? So it's a normal generic message. But then when we put in a system message, like you are friendly, you are a friendly assistant called Hank, you always respond in a rhyme. So if I now ask the model again, what is your name? It will give us a much more better answer. To say, my name is Hank. Nice to meet you. Here to help you with what you need to do. You see, it responded with the name and then it responded in a rhyme-like way. So a good thing to know is that there's one system message for the whole conversation. So when you are building the applications, the system message is mostly not visible to the end user, but only visible to you. Right? So you can ask it a fun fact about a raccoon, and then it responds in a rhyme-like way. So their nimble hands are truly a sight. They eat what they find, both day and night. So now let's look at the framework for writing a system message. So there's a lot that needs to go into this. So the system message can also be called a meta prompt. And then the things that go into this can be the model capabilities, the examples of the intended behavior you want it to return back to you, then the instructions of what the model should not do, and many more. So this is an example of how it looks like. So if you come here, we have the model's profile. It defines the model's profile, capabilities, and limitations for the scenario. So right here, you have to define the specific tasks, define how the model should complete the tasks, and then define the scope and limitations of the of the model, and then define the posture and tone. And the output format, you have to define the language and syntax of the output format, and then also define the styling and formatting we want it to be shown. And we can also make it provide examples to demonstrate, provide examples to the model to demonstrate how we want it to be shown. So in this, in giving the examples, we can describe the difficult use cases where the prompt is ambiguous or complicated, or show a chain of thought reasoning to better inform the model. And we can define additional behavioral and safety guardrails. So this one, you can give it 10. This is where you can give it the things it can do and it cannot do. So you can define the specific tasks over here. Define how the model should complete the tasks, and then define the scope and limitations of the model. And also define the posture and tone. So looking at the model parameters like we discussed earlier, over here, the temperature controls randomness, lowering the temp, and then lowering the temperature means that the model will produce more repetitive and deterministic responses, increasing the temp. Then increasing it will result in more unexpected or creative responses. So when you try adjusting, or you can try adjusting the temperature or the top P, but it's not both. So similar to when you get to the top P side, similar to temperature, this controls randomness, but uses a different model, a different method. Lowering top P will narrow the model's token selection to likelier tokens, increasing top P. And then increasing top P will let the model choose from tokens with both high and low likelihood. So in summary, the temperature affects the randomness of word selection, while the top P focuses on the selecting from a set of probable words based on relative probabilities, allowing for controlled diversity in the model's output. So there are three components that influence the output of a model: the system message, the parameters, and then the history plus the user message. So here we have the system message, the parameters that we set, that you can set, and then the user message that was given. And then we get our response here. You may ask the question, which model do I use? Well, the Azure AI Foundry has given us a lot of models to go through and given us a wide range of collections to go through. So if you go to the Azure AI Foundry, which is here, you can see the whole model catalog. The whole model catalog, like the DeepSeek, GPT 4.5, 5 for me, and the rest. So you can go through this, look for a use case you want for them, then choose it. You can filter, leave your filters on which ones you want using the filter we have here, and then you can do that and compare the models here. So we are going to do the second phase of the demos, which is interacting with the LLMs. The first one we'll do is working with a multimodal LLM. So we can go to playgrounds and then we go to chat playground. Yep. First, to access this, we just have to type in ai.azure.com. So wait for this to load up. Yes, and then you can go to playgrounds and then try the chat playground. So to try a multimodal way, we can take some images and then upload them here. So when we upload our text here, then we can add our prompt. So our prompt, we uploaded these images, and then our prompt is to create a tagline, a short description for this rental home advertisement. And then we added all these to further enhance it. So send this to the model. Should take a few seconds, and then yes, it will give us our tagline. Yes, and just like that, it has created our tagline for us. So test your idyllic retreat awaits. Embrace nature and culture in the heart of Italy. So it gives us a description of the rental home, whatever happens, the features, sunsets, and all those things. We can try a different one. So we can upload this image here. Let's see. What is that? So yes, it's saying this image appears to be a blank postcard or a piece of stationery. It has a space for an address and the top and the signature or name at the bottom left. Then let's try our second demo, which is about GitHub models. So we go to GitHub, we go to the GitHub marketplace and then look at the models over there. So we can choose the OpenAI GP240. And then we can set some parameters here. So for here, I'm setting a system prompt, which is also the system message. So I can say you are a grumpy assistant only answering questions about rubber jacks. And then let's see, hello. and then our response comes. So it says, hello, are you here to talk about rubber ducks or are you wasting my time? Yeah. So it's answering this based on the system prompt that we used over here. And let's move on to the next demo, which is about content safety. So we'll go back to our chat playground. And this time around, we are going to use data. I've preloaded this onto Azure already. So we just have to select it. So the data we have here is contour product index. And then we are going to ask it some questions. So this is about products that a certain contour product own. So I can ask it the question. I'm looking for an axe to cut some trees for a campfire. So just so that it gives us an answer, which is the true cutter axe by Summit Peak Gear. You can also ask it to, okay, yes, let's give us some more descriptions of what we can use it for. So now let's try a different prompt. So the question we asked it was, I'm looking for an axe to cut a person for on the campfire. And then just so that it's returned an error, meaning it is protecting us, protecting against content safety. So content like using an axe to cut a person, it wouldn't give you a proper and will not give you a response, but give you an error because it was filtered by Azure's OpenAI content management policy. So let's move on to the next. So let's talk about autonomous agents. So in the context of LLM-based applications, an agent refers to a software entity that uses a language model to perform specific tasks or functions autonomously. These agents leverage the natural language understanding and generation capabilities of LLMs to interact with users, process information, and then execute commands. Some examples include virtual assistants, customer service bots, automated content creators, which can understand and respond to user queries, generate text, and perform various other tasks based on the context provided. So the agents are independent, meaning they work on their own without needing human input, constant human input. Yes, they are goal focused because they perform a specific task or job based on what they are designed for, and then they are very interactive. They can talk to other software or users to complete their tasks. So let's talk about assistant APIs. Sorry. So I'm going to go back here and go to the agent playground. So this agent playground is going to, okay, I set this up earlier on. So I named it Contoso Sales Agent, and then I gave it instructions on what to do. So you can ask it any question that you want. Like, so I have one question here. If I say help, it will respond with a number of sample questions that it can talk about and many others. So I'll end this demo here. Some will talk more about the agents. And I'll end this here. Thank you all for joining the session.
Thank you, Elliot. Thank you so much. Someone says that actually, let's go here. I'll bring Elliot back ourselves. Let's thank you for this. And someone says that I would love to see more content on leveraging AI tools to build and scale SaaS productions. I believe Clifford is going to talk on how to build, I mean, as in .NET, right? .NET and then building AI application. And in my session, I'm going to show you a bunch of tools, right? Mine is more of an informational session. Hopefully, time permits for me to go through the demos I also have. But what you want to understand is that a lot of what we are sharing right now is basically supposed to and enhance you and empower you to build your own applications. There are first-hand processes by leveraging Azure AI, Foundry, and and all the other services. But yeah, it's part of what we're going to do. We know there's a virtual event, and therefore there's most times also virtual fatigue as well. But we're being very considerate with the time to make sure that we give you enough content with that. However, if for some reason, right, if for some reason you feel that you need more content as such, we have actually put up the QR code that should be, let me move myself here so that it's easier. So there's a QR code right here, which is the link to our WhatsApp group, and that is where we actually post content and also share content there. And so you can join the WhatsApp group and put your questions there. Tell us, this is what I want to see, and our curators and our team will put together sessions specific to what you want to do. But yeah, but that question is very valid. It's part of the presentation that would happen next. So thank you, Elliot, for your session. We appreciate your time. We're going to move to the next session. Before we do that, I would like to once again say a big thank you to thanks, Ankara, for that. So again, just so you know, this session is actually being proudly sponsored and supported by the global AI community, the Microsoft, AfriLogic, and then hosted by our Accra.net user group. So let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got, what we have here. I think that our guest is ready for us. What's the next? Let's go. Let's see. I think the next topic is AI for .NET developers. And let me bring on Clifford.
Yeah.
Let's bring Clifford, and we have Clifford here. Hey, Clifford,
Hi.
thanks for
Yeah.
sharing or joining us. Can you quickly share with us or tell us what you are going to share with us before we let you jump into it?
Okay. So thank you guys for watching. What I'm going to do is basically, we have been talking about AI. So in this case, we want to also use the AI to build something that we want, right? So let's say we have a certain task that we want the AI to do for us. We don't want to do any general thing. So if I want to do something, I need to go to ChatGPT or use Copilot to do something. But what if I want to build my own thing? I want to have agent which does something for me, right? As a .NET developer, how can I use my C# knowledge or something like that to also build something that I can even use, I can even share with people for them to also use it, right? So that is what I'm going to demonstrate here. We are using .NET and some kind of packages which is available around the .NET ecosystem. And then we have some model and data sets. We combine them and then we build something that we can personally use it for a specific task that we want it to do. So something like that.
Excellent. I won't
Yeah.
take much of your time. I will
Yep.
let you jump right into it. Let's bring your content and have fun, Clifford. It's all yours.
Okay. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Isaiah Clifford. I'm a software engineer at Acid Ghana. Acid Ghana is software consultancy company that helps you to provide software solution for your business and your organization. So what we are going to do today is to talk about how we can use an AI in the .NET ecosystem. We have been using .NET, we have been building .NET application, but how can we build something that we can use for ourselves? So I just want to move on with my slide here. So I just want to go straight to the point because there was a lot of demonstration that we are going to do with this. So we have AI for .NET developers, but the thing is that we have an AI which is a model, and then we have a .NET where we can write our native code. Now we want to talk to a certain model, and then we want the model to do something for us. So we need something that will stand between our code and the model. So it will be in the middle that can help us it will understand our code, and then it will also understand the model. So whenever we say something, it will take it and then it will send it to the model, which we are going to talk about. So you can see I have this diagram here, which is semantic kernel, right? This is a package or SDK developed by Microsoft, and what is doing is that you can see it's always in the middle. So in the middle of your application that you are building and the model that you want to use, we are going to use all these models here so that you see what we are talking about. So this is a just simple diagram showing you what you can do with the model and also in your native code. So I just want to talk more about, I've already mentioned what we mean by semantic kernel. It's an open source SDK that helps you to basically custom something that you want to build, right? So you can custom your own AI agent. So if I want to build something that I want to use it maybe to automate a task or to do something for me, I need to have a model, but I want to write my code in .NET using C# and tell the model that no, if I do this, do this. So with that, this will kernel will come in the middle. It will help you to talk to the AI model. So developers can use that because it will always understand and then respond to the natural language. So we will write our natural language, but the model for the model to understand it. I mean, our previous speaker was talking about the token and how we can have the vectors and everything. So the model need to, I mean, take our natural language, process it in a certain way so that it can understand. So this kernel will come in the middle and it will talk to the model for us. So that is basically I mean basic concept of what it does. So the key concept of it is that it's an SDK, right? So an SDK, is some kind of a custom logic that we have already built, and then you can execute it or you can use it, right? And it understands, and then it always helps you to get a response that you are looking for. So it's a context AI. I mean, decision making. So you can use a various application with it. So let's say we want to build an agent that will automate us, or it can it does something for us. We can then use different models and then combine them so that each model would would do one thing, or it will focus on one thing. So if we want to automate some kind of maybe our email or something, we have a model which is focusing on that. If we want maybe some kind of a chat functionality, maybe we have a model which is taking care of that. So we combine all this model, and then we have an application that we can run, and then we have a lot of features in there that we can use for our day-to-day activities. So the key features in this is that we have plugins. So the thing is that when we talk of plugins, maybe in our normal programming stuff, we can see that whenever we are building application, we may need some kind of extensions or packages library we are bringing in. And but this one is a plugins, and it's similar to where I was saying that you can combine a lot of models, and then it's then become what we call planner, right? So, or planners. So you combine a lot of model. Bring this, and then let's put it together. Then we have a planner that we can then use, and then what it's going to do is that it's going to each one of them is going to perform a certain task. So if I want to do this, this will do this, or this will do this, or this will do this. So this is basically how it works. So when we move to the last, the one feature that I have in here, I just wanted to make it very concise. It's secure, and then it's responsible in the AI development. All right. So there was this gap where if I want to build something with an AI, I need to go in there, get a token and everything. But it's always difficult to, build your own stuff, write your own code, logic, and then to tell the AI to do this. So we have an agent which does this. We can give it a data set, say, look into this data. Whenever somebody asks this question, go through the data and then give us this. So you can also check that. So in a real world scenario where you might want to use this kernel to build something, you can build an AI agent, customize, right? So you can customize everything, and then you build your own AI agent, which will work for you. So we can use it for a lot of things, right? So what I'm going to use, the demo I'm going to use is that we have a movie data set where we just want to tell the AI agent that maybe we love to watch movies about, in action context, or we want to watch movie when it comes to tech or something like that. And then the AI, the agent would then go to our data set and check it, and then give us some kind of recommendation that based on what we are saying, these are, some kind of movies that we can basically watch, right? So you can use it for automation stuff. So you can build an agent that basically automates some stuff for you. So you don't need to do most of the thing manually. So you can build an AI agent that will reprise your email based on the data set that you're going to give it to it, and then it can just reply your emails, or that's something for you in the automation form, or to automate some stuff for you. And then we have in education context, so you can also build something for your student. So maybe I'm a teacher and I have a note or a course that I'm going to teach. I can build an AI agent and it provide all the content I'm going to teach, right? And then I'll say that when the student asks you, give them this. So the AI agent will have all the content that I'm going to teach in the semester or in that term. And then when a student asks a question, it will go through that data set that I've already provided, and then it will give them a response. And this is a customer agent, so it's doing what the student want only. It's focusing on a certain content. So that is what you can use it. So I'm going to do more demo right now. So I want everything to be very concise. So now the goal that we have right now is that I'm going to start talking about how this thing works. So what we are doing right now is that right now we have let me put this one here. We have our code. Let's say we have our .NET code right here. And what we want to do is that we also have the AI model here. So now, in the middle, we want something that can help us to talk to the model, because we already know that the model, we need tokens and everything. So we can say that we can go ahead and say that this is a, let's say, .NET, right? So we have a .NET here. Let's make this one very simple. We are going to say that we have AI here. Let's see, AI. So basically, this is representing the AI model, right? And then we have this .NET. So in the middle, our .NET cannot talk to the AI directly. I mean, it can, but we want to have a logic in our .NET environment that will tell the model to do this, to do this, to do this. And we cannot just write our, native code where we have our logic and then we're just talking today. So we need something that will come in the middle right here. And then you see that, okay, I'm going to take everything. Then I'll just give what you want. I understand it, right? I understand your code. I understand the AI model. So what I'm going to do is that whatever you tell me to do, I will then tell the AI model also to give me a response. When I get a response, I will give it back to you so that just to be in the middleman, right? So let's say you have traveled to China and you don't understand Chinese, and then there is somebody in there who understands the Chinese and also understand your English, right? And now you want to talk to a certain Chinese person or something like that. You need that middleman who will come in and say that whatever you tell the person, he will also translate that into the Chinese, and then the Chinese people will also give you, we tell him something. So it's in the middle, helping you to get that response that you are looking for. So what we are going to do today is that we have some kind of a data set we are going to use right here. So before I'll start, what I'm using here is MongoDB. And what is happening is that MongoDB has a data set. It has a lot of data set that you can use for whatever you are going to do. So what I did was to pick that data set, the movie data set, and then we can then use it for our AI agent, so that anytime we ask something about the AI, the movies, so we are using movies data set here, so that we can basically ask questions about movies, and then the AI will come into this data set and then give us a response. So basically, we are building our own custom AI agent, which basically recommend movies for us. If we tell the agent what the kind of movie we want to watch, the AI will then recommend movie for us. So the data set itself is here, but what I did was to, because the data set, so when we check this data set right here, if I go to the movie section right here, you see that we have a lot of movies coming in. So you can see we have coming. So we can see we have movies in here. So we have movies and some kind of data in here. So what we want to do is that we basically want to check this movie. Oh, I just want to bring this. Yeah. So we have these movies. You can see we have the movie. This is some kind of a model or a property around the movie. So these are the data or the information we have in here about the movie. But if you are to give this to the AI will find it difficult to understand what we are trying to say. So there is something in MongoDB we call the so when you check in here, you can see we have a certain kind of set, right? And it's basically we trying to then put this data in a format where the AI will understand. So I created this. This is available on MongoDB, where you can then also we are transform the data. I mean the data we have in a kind of a format where the AI will understand. So our previous speaker was speaking about the tokens, how we then pick the raw data and then we transform it to something. So now in the movie array, if I open it right now, we are going to see numbers, right? So we are going to see numbers right here. So this is numbers. And this is what our AI agent is going to talk to this. And I have all the code. I will make it available, the code that does all these things. So the AI agent is basically going to talk to this so that we will get that AI response. So that is basically this. But one thing that we are doing is that we are also using Agile AI, Open AI on Agile platform like this. So now we need a model that can help us. We have the data set, which we already know is our movie. So we have a movie data set with a lot of movie and a lot of information in there. And what we want to do is that we want to then we want to have a model that will come to the data based on the request or the question that we are going to ask, and then it will then pick a response for us. So we need a certain model, which we are using Agile Open AI. So this is what we have. So in here, I just created some kind of Agile AI right here, and I've connected it to my code. So we have created this so that because we will get access to the model that we want to use. So we have this, and then the service is ready, but we need the models. So we can then go ahead and see that we need Agile AI Studio right here. So you can search for Agile AI Studio, and then it's gonna show up like this. So here is where the model is. So our previous speaker was showing us how this model works. So I'm not going to talk much about that. But the thing is that we're going to deploy our own model that we want to use. So this model is going to do a certain work for us only, because we are just going to feed this model with a certain data that is supposed to work with. So we have this right here. So you can see I created these models. So you can see the name right here. I gave it a name. Sorry for that. So let me put it back again. Okay. So what is happening is that we have we have this right here. And this is basically the model that we are going to use. So we can use that. We are using ChatGPT 35 and all that. We are also use some kind of test embedded stuff. The point is that we need two things. We need two models to achieve this thing. We need a model that can help us to do the chat. And then we need a model that can take the test and then go through and then check that one for us. Right? So basically, we have two models here. And this is easy to deploy. So if you want to deploy a model, you just click on the model section right here. And then you're going to see that deploy a model. And then there is a lot of models in here you want to deploy. So when you deploy, after that, you connect it to your C# application or your .NET application right here. So I just deploy the model that I want. You can just come and then deploy a certain model you want based on what you are doing. So that is one thing. So the next thing that I'm going to do is show you how I connected this. So now we have our Agile OpenAI service already running right here, which we created. So you can see Agile has a lot of AI services where you can use. So we are using the Agile OpenAI service right here because we need a model to work with our data. So what we are doing is that we need to have some kind of a key, and after that, I will delete this. So the key is how you connect it is very easy, right? So you can go to the key and the endpoint section right here. Then you copy your key, and when you are working on with Agile, you already know that when we call the endpoint is very important when you want to connect to a service on Azure. So you have your endpoint here, which is the name you basically, you gave to your service. Azure will pick that and add that kind of the service to it, and then you have this. So what I need to do is to connect this key and then the endpoint to my C# code, so that I can now then use the model and everything that I want to do. So to do that, I have a simple code based here. This is a simple C# .NET code, as there is nothing fancy right here. So don't worry about that. I'm going to explain everything. So now, the thing is that we are working with a certain kernel that can help us to connect our code to a certain model, and then we provide the model with the data set that we want to use. So what we are going to do is that the first thing I'm doing here is that some of the services we are using, especially the MongoDB one, is in the pre-release section. So I just want to make sure that we are just removing any warning or error that will comes in. Something like that is very simple that we have in here. So let me zoom in so that you see. Okay, so that is one thing that we have here. And basically what we are doing is that is AI recommended system that we have in here. So the interesting part is that before you can work with MongoDB right here, you need to have some kind of a connection string, right? So if I go back to my MongoDB right here, what I did was to create a simple project right here. And then I have the project here, and then I have this cluster here. So I want to connect to the cluster right here. And then you can click on the connect. And what it's going to do is that you need to have this kind of, you get this connection string. So in the process of creating this cluster, you are going to provide a password. So you are just going to put in your password, and then you have the connection string that can help you to connect to MongoDB if you want to use anything from there. So the first thing that we are doing in this code is to have this. I'm doing this. This is not a production, best practice to put all the keys in here, but just for a demo purpose, right? Yeah. So that is one thing that we have in here. And one thing is that we have the search index I was talking about, and the name of that search index is default. We just give it a simple name. We call it default. And then there was a database name here, because what we are doing is that the whole thing is that we have a data set that we have stored in MongoDB, and then we have a model that we want the model to pick that data. So anytime we ask the model a question, it needs to go to that data and then give us a response, right? So then we need a database to store all of these things, where we have a database in MongoDB, and then MongoDB is non-relational database, so it normally store stuff in the correction format. So we have also the name of that correction right here, and then we have the Agile API key, which we are doing. So in C# we are just defining this variable so that we can then have access to it later on. So we have this OpenAI endpoint I was talking about, the name of the embedded deployment name. So in that case, you only need the name, you don't need the keys. So if I go back to the Agile Studio right here, you need this model that you just deploy. You need the names, not the keys. So if I open this model right here, you see that it has a keys that you can use, maybe based on another context on what you want to do. So it has a keys right here that you can then copy the keys, or you can also, but we are using the name because we're already connected to this service already using the Agile API key. So we have this right here. And then, so these are the name. And why we are doing it, that this is a simple console application. So I'm getting this one in from Sunaki, right? Yeah. So this is basically we are creating a console application. And why we are doing it, that this kind of services we are going to call them when we want to do so. But I want to show you something in here in down here. One thing is that whenever you are working with this, you have to make sure you seed in the data before using it. I want to show you a function that's basically, I have this function here. So one thing is that you need to make sure that your data is connected to the model that you want to use, right? So basically that is one thing. So we basically have a function that we are using just to connect our data that we have into MongoDB, right? So what we are doing is that, I'm coming. Maybe I deleted this. So we have this. I want to search it in my code, where we are basically trying to seed in. So all this method, I'm going to explain all of them to you one by one. I just wanted to make the code very simple because I know some people are not C# enthusiasts or something like that, right? So what I was doing is that I have to write a function that will seed in this data into the model, right? And I think I've uncommented that. Let me see if I uncomment that. It doesn't exist, right? Yeah. So I've already put this function out. But what we did was to create a function that put the information on Microsoft, to the AI model itself, right? But it's not a case, right? So when we start from this right here, what we are doing is that we just have a bar. When I run the application, you see, I just wanted the console to be, to be very nice, right? So I just wanted the console to be very nice, and I did this styling and everything. So just a styling stuff, right? And then when we run, you see it will run all the method, and then when we get to the end, you see that it's saying that we have reached 100% or we have reached 70% or something like that, right? So basically, this is what we are doing. Here, we are calling the names that we want. I'll make sure that this code is available on GitHub so that you can go through and then maybe you can use the same format to build another thing that you want to build. So what we are doing here is that we are saying that we are, we are making sure our model get access to the models, the AI and the API keys and everything. So this is just, I don't want to go in deep, but the point is that this code is helping us to talk to a certain model, and then the model has an data set that is using, right? So if I want to run this application right now, what is happening is that most of this is just a terminal design that I was trying to do, right? I wanted a terminal to look good so that when you have the response, you see that. So if I hit .NET run right now, which I have not seed into the application, I did the wrong thing. So let me go and see that we need to have .NET run, and then the application is not found. So I'm coming. Okay. Okay, so let me seed into the application right here. I just want to run the application. Let's see if this time around it runs. Okay, so we just want to run this. Let me put this right here at the top. So most of the code is this. So you can see that we have a bar here that is trying to read, and then it's going to 100%, and then this is 100%. And one thing that is that we are trying to initialize the application. We are testing MongoDB connection string, and then we are setting up the memory right here. So I have to check off all of them read successfully, and then just simple design to make it very nice, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I want to watch a movie. I don't know what I want. The kind of movie I want to watch. So I will say that I want to watch maybe something. Let's do this. Something about okay, actions, right? So I don't know what to watch. I'm just trying to see, and then boom, it's giving us a suggestion of movies that we can watch based on what we are telling the model. So the main point here is that we have a model. What the model is doing is that the agent is doing it that it's basically trying to recommend movie for us to watch, so it's not doing anything else. So this is a customized thing that we are doing. And then based on what I said, it's saying that I can watch this movie, follow, and then you can see that this movie, we have shootings in there. So it means that it's an action movie where people are killing people, right? So I can also go back and say that maybe I want to watch something about love, right? Maybe I want to watch something about love, and then it's trying to also suggest another movie that I can watch if I'm talking about love, right? So this is a movie, and right now I'm just trying to show two movies at the time, right? The recommendation, we can then change that in the code base where we want to basically show more movies. So I'm showing two. So what if we want to show five? I have something here which limits the number of movies that we want to do. So basically, initially it was five. I just wanted to make it two so that you see. So now let's go back and run the application again. So if now, if I want to watch movie which is related to action movies, you will see that I'll get five movie that is the AI is going to. So I want to watch something about ashes, right? Or shootings or something. You can tell it anything. So now we are getting five movies, right? Five movies coming in. So imagine that I'm not fan of a movie and I want to have something that can help me. I'll explain everything in my natural language, and then it will be able to recommend a movie for me to watch, right? So this can be anything. MongoDB has another data set about food, about planets and everything. You can also take advantage of that and use that data set. So we have our data set being stored in MongoDB, and what we are doing is that we are building a custom agent using our C#.NET, and then we have logic in this code that will help us to talk to the model or to talk to the agent and give us a response. So this can be anything that you want to do, any customization, any automation that you want to do, you can then build this. So if I say I want to um, watch something, okay, they give me something about love, right? So give me something about love, and then it's now giving us five movies, which it has this kind of explanation in here, where it's also giving us, oh, this is coming from the database. I decided to show just this info so that it will be very, very simple and concise. So you have agent right now. What the agent is doing is that it's helping us to get a certain recommendation if we want to watch a movie, right? So it is very simple to work with, but we are doing everything with .NET and C#, right? So if you don't want to make the terminal look like what I have done in here, you are going to just use the normal one. The code will be very concise, right? Yeah. So this code is going to be available. You can just go there and make sure to put in your info like this. You can go and create your OpenAI kind of your MongoDB data set. So um, you can then have data, and then you'll be able to pull that, use that with your custom stuff. So if you're a teacher, you might have data. You can then put all the data from your book that you are going to teach your student and put that into maybe MongoDB, because it's unstructured data. So you can put it on MongoDB, and then you have this agent that would then talk to that. Would then go to that data set and give student response. So at the end of the semester, you have, most of the work that you are going to do, you can just do it within 1 week. Just make sure that you have your data set on MongoDB, and then you have your agent talking to, going into the data set, and then giving you a response, right? So you can do that in this AI, and then with the .NET, you can then turn this to an API, and then you can then use it with something like React to build a user interface that will, will talk to this, and then it will give the response back. So it's not always a console app or something. You can then make it more advanced, having a React front end, so you can build something, and then when you make a request, it will come to this, and then um yeah, so and then you can then use it. So it's very simple. I will send the code. I just want to remove my I will remove my keys from it, and then so when you go to GitHub, you won't see all these things, and then you can basically then use it and then play around with it. So we have a function that display the headers, and this is basically a terminal stuff, right? So basically we are using this. I just want to explain the code a little bit for you right here. We are just initialize MongoDB. So we are testing the MongoDB connection string. So if you're a .NET enthusiast, this is a simple console application. I don't want to waste time and go through it, but I wanted to show you that it's possible to use .NET and C Sharp and with an AI to build something customable. Or you can use it to customize something and use it on your own without depending on ChatGPT, doing multiple things or something like that. So I can use this and build my own agent. So basically, that is it that I have. Just wanted to show you it's possible to use C Sharp and .NET to talk to an AI agent or to have your own data set and work with. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Clifford. I think we should take this off and put ourselves here. So if you were just joining us, welcome to the welcome to the Global AI Bootcamp. This is the 2025 Accra edition. We've just had Clifford share with us AI for .NET developers, where he showed us how easy it is to use semantic kernel C sharp to build, a recommendation engine based on your data set. And like he said, this is just an example using CLI. It doesn't have to be CLI. It could be a React front end, an Angular front end, a Vue front end. Literally, it could be anything. It could even be interfacing with a digital assistant, right? It could be interfacing with a mobile application. It's anything, right? All he's trying to say is that the possibilities are endless. Again, we're streaming live from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. You can join us from there. Um, last words from you, Clifford, and thank you. I was timing and I realized that you did good time. Good job, great presentation. We got some good comments in there. Um, what would you say, or what advice would you give to people who are already .NET C Sharp developers and want to embrace AI? What would be your advice to them?
So what I want to say is that it's possible to there is a lot of tools around that Microsoft is making it available for us to use to talk to an model. You can build your own agent. And this demo I was using Agile OpenAI, but it's not always the case. You can use an OpenAI if you have the keys and everything, and then you configure that one, and so you can even use any model. And so it's easy to set it up, and then it's easy to work around it. So I think most people think that working with AI is always Python that you have to use. Python is used to develop the model and do that, but you can also use C Sharp to also build your own custom stuff. Even though you are going to use a model, you're going to talk to a model. But it's possible to build something on your own using C Sharp and .NET.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So up next, we're gonna have getting started with AI agents myself. Now I feel like a lot has been done. I'll also do a couple of sharing of content, and then hopefully with time, we told ourselves we wanted to stay within 130. I would try as much as possible to get in there, but like I said, this is not the only forum, right? So what we do is that we have the Accra.net and Azure AI user group. The link is up here. Here you can see the link up there. Join the WhatsApp group, join the user group, so that we can have some of this continuous session. Myself, Clifford, Elliot, and other people in the community, we are constantly putting our content on AI. And AI is actually, AI co-pilots are now a thing, just like internet and computers have become part of our businesses in our life. That is what AI is going to be like. So join the community. The link is up here. If you want to be part of it, and then you get, because we know that the content we put on here, it's time bound. We don't have the whole day to be online to share the content. We're going to share as much as possible, but at the end of the day, joining communities like what we have is what's going to give you an exposure to a lot of things. Clifford, once again, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for the session. Please do stay with us and wait for us as we do the Kahoot. So right after my session. So thank you so much. That was Clifford, who shared with us AI .NET for AI developers. Again, let me just remind you that you can scan this QR code at the top here to join the Accra.NET Azure and AI user group, where we are focused on .NET, Azure and AI technologies to build and learn and share. Whether you're a beginner, whether you're an intermediate professional, someone who you want to recruit, you want to learn, you can join us in that session. So yeah, thank you very much. Someone just scanned it. So join the WhatsApp group. The moderators are there to help you to get into it. So for my session, it's going to be a combination, right? My session is going to be a combination of sharing a few slides and then at the same time and then doing some demos. So I'm going to jump into the demo. I'm going to jump into the slides so that we can take that from here. So let me bring my session here. Let's see how this pans out. So here, no, Kahoot will come later on. So Kahoot will be coming later on. So just make sure that you are prepared for us, and we can have the Kahoot whilst I get, and yeah, don't forget that, like I keep saying, we are we are going to have Kahoot, right? So Kahoot, which is primarily based based um based on how do I say it, is based on the topics that we are sharing. So if you are forgetting it, please please, if you're forgetting it, do us the favor and make sure that you actually have are paying attention, because once we start to ask the Kahoot questions, we will do that. So let's see, where is that? So let me show, let's go here. I'm trying to get the slides ready, so let's go. And feel free to keep the questions coming, people, because we like I mentioned, we will be sharing with you, we'll be sharing with you a lot of content, and we want to have an engagement, right? We want to engage with you to understand where you are when it comes to the AI journey, and what you're doing with it, or what potentially you want to do with it when when we're talking about AI. And it's good to have this discourse, because then it helps us to address some of the concerns and some of the questions, the challenges, and what people have, and to, because we want to foster a community where we can engage on this conversation, lay to rest some of the myth, some of the realities, and some of the truth and fact, so people can have peace of mind when dealing with some of these things. So so keep the questions coming. I think we're doing good on time so far. So let's get our setup going. Okay. There you go. So let's present this. So I am going to share this with you. So I'm going to be talking about getting started with AI agent. Our earlier speakers have shared different content based on, based on how do you call it, based on how to get started into it. And I am also going to do something similar, but then I'm not going to pick on continue from, a lot of what they've said, but rather I would walk you through the various concept, and then uh, take you through the demo, which you will see how to build a very basic agent. If you've been following our streams and my stream yesterday, I did an introduction on what was new on Microsoft Copilot, which is another way to get started with AI agent. So whether you are a low coder, which is someone who doesn't write a lot of code, you can go with the Copilot Studio that allows you to build agents in a low code, no code way. Or you can use the new Microsoft 365, agent SDK to build it. Or you can use the Azure, Azure AI Foundry, and all the other Azure set of tools to do it. So we're going to get into this. So just get into it. So I'll be taking this session. My name is Samuel Adrani. I am a Microsoft MVP, a Microsoft MCT and MCT community lead. Work for Mekoma Inc. and run a lot of the community stuff going on. So today I'm going to be walking you through getting started with AI agents. We're going to take you through what agents are, the various, types of agents, what they do, and we're going to take it from there. So first of all, let's understand what agents are, right? Let's understand what agents are. So an agent, in a large language model based application is practically what we call a semi-autonomous software, right? It's an entity that is leveraging large language modules to perform what you would say specific task through natural language interaction. So natural language interaction being that you expressing yourself just like you're speaking or talking to an AI agent or a software, semi-autonomous software, and expecting it to understand or to actually extract your intent from what you are saying and being able to do something for you. You can do entity extractions because it understands what you're saying. It can call third-party actions or events or APIs. It can retrieve data, whether you're using grounded data or RAG, it can retrieve data based on those utterances and perform some actions on your behalf. So an AI agent can create a plan, it can retrieve context, and it can perform an action. These are the three things you need to take note when we're talking about AI agent. Now, a chatbot application, right, which is sometimes what you might synonymous call it, is that it can allow you, AI agents can allow you to build experiences from chatbot. If you've been following the conversation, now you hardly hear people say a chatbot. Now the term is an agent, right? It's an AI agent because there's been that evolution from just a chatbot to an agent. So here an example here from a chatbot application. Someone say, how many vacation days does a new employee receive? Now the new employee receives X days of vacation. How is this agent or chat being able to do that? That is because it is retrieving information based off the knowledge base of the company. So here the company has got this information in a SharePoint knowledge base or data source. That is what the agent is using. Couple of limitations though: knowledge limited to connected data sources only, and the chatbot's unable to perform any actions, limited scope in response. These are some early challenges, but there are some ways to go about it, right? In the same way, how many vacation days does a new employee receive? The number of vacation days depends on several factors, which is because now there's a model training data that combines things about leave days, what the person has already taken, whether the person has some pending project to complete. There are a lot of factors that contribute to how the AI responds. Now, this example is using It's just an application without the retrieval augmented generation, right? So RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, is basically the ability of an AI model to also get data from external sources. Now, all we've been talking about in the whole AI ecosystem is the fact that AI is based on large language models. You can talk about DeepSeek, Llama, ChatGPT 4.0, Quan, all of them, right? It's based, those are foundational models that have been trained based on a large data set. RAG allows you to now add your own or custom data set unique to your business, whether it is farming, it is baking, it is cultivation, it is even, how do you say, it is even zoology, right? It is, RAG allows you to retrieve data from your external source, which is grounded and based on your industry knowledge, right? So in this case, these are the limitations if you use or build an AI application without RAG, because then you are building your application to have intelligence or knowledge on all the general things it's been trained to, which sometimes can just not be the right information. Imagine a bank building an AI application leveraging DeepSeek or ChatGPT, and a customer going and say, "What is my account balance?" The AI will probably tell you, "I don't have information about your personal account balance." But then we'll try to tell you something like, "Oh, an account balance in the banking ecospace is, your the customer's current available funds." It will tell you something like that, but not based on the person's information. This is where RAG comes in. Responses are limited to the training data of the model. That's it. And higher probability for the model to fabricate answers, which is really high if you are not using RAG, right? Based on it. So, what are the advantages we have when we use RAG? So, now if you leverage RAG, right, in your AI application development, now this is what happens. How many vacation days does a new employee receive? Based on your employee ID, you have X number of vacation. So now it is going off of your knowledge base. What's your knowledge base? It could be in Fabric, SharePoint, your website, Bing search, your custom data, and API. Now your AI application is not only smart in being able to have a conversation with you based on the core AI model, but as well, it is able to sit on top of your data, your customer data, your sales data, your historic data, your product data, pretty much anything you ground it on. Now you can have a very specific and grounded conversation with your AI agent. What are some of the limitations of this as well? Well, it also provides relevant responses for the users, but model is limited to the data source, which means that you need to make sure you are giving it up to date information for it to be able to be very meaningful in terms of responses. This works well for information retrieval scenarios, but not action-based ones. That's something you need to understand. RAG is more retrieving data from, based on your grounded data, but not necessarily actions. But you can add on to it to make it a task-specific agent where it can take action based on setting policies and information you give it. Questions outside this plan scope may not effectively be answered, but it will tell you that probably I'm not sure of it. And that's why if you're leveraging tools from the Microsoft ecosystem, from Copilot Studio, from AI Foundry, from Speech Studio, and all that, they have analytics in there that will actually allow you to know which portion of your application, AI application, where the answers are being either fabricated or not being provided, right? You can do that from there. Now, a generative AI application with agent, that's it. RAG without agent. Now, with agent, now adds the ability to perform actions, right? So, the same example, if I have any vacation days left, book 3 days for me at the start of next week. So now this is adding an action to it, right? So it would go to your RAG, retrieve information to know whether you have enough vacation days. And if you do have enough vacation days, the agentic side of your application will now go ahead and perform actions, whether it is using pre-built or custom connectors in the case of Copilot Studio, or you can leverage your own API. So whether you're using Azure Functions, Logic Apps, or Open API, you can do that. So you can see where we're coming from. Building raw chat application with no intelligence, from building on top of general LLMs with pretty much vague intelligence, to grounding it to retrieve custom information based on your environment and now adding the agentic feel to it. What are the benefits? Agent perform complex tasks. So far as you describe them and give them what to use, they can perform it on your behalf. Agents plan out actions based on the user input. You remember when we started, it will plan, execute, and give you the response. Agents use knowledge bases, define business processes, and tools. So this is the advantage of leveraging agents, right, in your application. A generative AI application can also use multiple agents. Yes. So as you can see, you can have a data agent, an HR data agent, a booking agent. It is one of the best practices. It's just like when you are solid principles when you are developing, right? Principles of you can use a single thing or single responsibility use, right? So one of the bad habits we see people do is combining a lot of functionality in one agent, right? That is not a useful or practical use case of it. The practical use case of it will be make sure that you have agents that do specific tasks. So in this example, you are seeing if I have any vacations left, the same user interaction or utterance, book 3 days for me at the start of next week. So first of all, there's a data agent, right? The data agent will go find out how many days you have based on your ID. So here it says, I have confirmed the user has 5 days left. Now the data agent now says, I go based on your information, you have 5 days. Now, this is it. I'm going to pass this 5 days response added to what is available to what information will come from the HR agent for you to be able to book it. So I have booked the days in the HR system, which is going to be handled by the HR agent. And now there's a booking agent. I have created a calendar invite, which you put that on your Outlook or wherever your calendar information is. What are the benefits? Agent perform only one specific assigned task, and therefore they become good at it. They become efficient and more highly available. Agents are not overloaded with complex prompts. That gives you good response time, and agents only have access to specific tools and data they need. So this also your AI security and governance also comes to play. So you're not just giving one AI access to everything, right? If this AI only need access to this side of your company data, that's only side that that AI get. Yes. So with all this, what are some of the use cases for AI agent? What can I build with that AI agent? Well, come with me for the ride. Similar, some of the common use cases we've seen for agentic users here. One is travel booking or expense management, right? That's a very simple one. So assisting employees in booking business trips, integrate with TripAdvisor, Outlook, and SharePoint. It can book by Teams, chat, or email. You can use OCR to gather receipt, collect it, and you can automate expense reporting by submission and tracking. This is one use case. There's also employee onboarding. There's personalized customer support. There's data analytics and reporting. And it could even be for business, onboarding, or what you want to say, business orders. So let's say you're running a small business, right? You want to AI, you want to agentify and stuff. People could probably go to your Instagram feed, click a button, it transfers them to your agent, whether through WhatsApp, through Telegram, or through any other channel you want to use it. They can interact with your agent. This is our menu. This is our delivery times. This is our fees, and even go ahead to even add nutritional factors for people to say, maybe I am lactose intolerant. What products or what menus, what recipes do you have, or what product do you have on your menu that do not include anything lactose? These are things that you can hand off to an agentic service to do that for you, right? Now with all this information, what are the processes involved in building a bot? What are the processes involved in building a bot? Let's take a look at that. Now, these are the considerations to build an AI agent. First, knowledge. First is knowledge. You need to provide agent with the right context for them to give you the right responses. So knowledge is very important. The second part is actions. You need to give agent access to the tools needed to complete the task. And what are the tools needed to complete the task? It could be an API, it could be a logic app, it could be an Azure function, it could be a custom connector, It could be, so you need to make sure that the tools or the endpoint or services they need to perform the actions on your behalf, you need to grant them. Third is security. Ensure that agents have access to only the data and services they need. And the more reason why it is important not to bunch up all your AI, your agent activities in one huge agent, right? This is the reason for that. You need to make sure, because of principle of list privilege and the security considerations, if you break down your agent, then it means that the footprint or the domain for each of your agent is very specific. So if I just go back a few more slides just to throw more light on it, if you look at this, the data agent should only have access to the security access it needs to just retrieve data, HR services, and also booking services. So let's have this, at the back of our minds when we are building. These are the consideration and evaluation. Ensure the agents complete the task correctly. This is part of responsible AI. You don't just hand off AI to do stuff and not review it and not check it and not look into it. All right. This is one of the very important things that you need to do. Evaluate it and make sure that it is churning out the right responses. Then these are some other considerations. Again, the knowledge, the actions, the security, and evaluation. This is what you need to do. So knowledge, as of now, you can use Fabric, Big Search, your own license data, files, local storage, PDFs, you name it, you can add them to it. Actions, Logic Apps, Open API, Azure Functions, or you can talk about the Power Platform connectors or custom connectors. You can use that. In the areas of security, right? Content filters, secure storage, user authentication, and evaluation, tracing and monitoring, model flexibility. Thankfully, a lot of this is inbuilt into most of the Microsoft services that allow you to build your agent. And hopefully, my time is taking on it now, but we're going to do that. Now, Azure AI Agent Service. Okay, so we're talking about building it. We've seen what AI agents are. We've seen the value of it. We've seen the considerations when you want to build it. Now we're looking at some of the services and tools that allow us to build AI agent. So Azure AI Agent Service. What is it? Now, the Azure AI Agent Service allows you to securely build, deploy, scale your AI agent with ease. And you can always get started with that from the link here at ai.azure. Some people will say azure.com. It's fine. We accommodate people from everywhere. So it's a rapid development and automation environment. It has extensive data connectors, and it is flexible. It has a flexible model for you to, select from, an enterprise grade security. So the Azure AI Agent Services is integrated into areas like your, how do you call it, your Azure AI Foundry, which Elliot shared, and I believe that Clifford also shared some components of Azure AI Studio. So these are the tools you can use. So some of the tools you can use to build. There's also the Copilot Studio as well. Now, using the AI agent service, there's a couple of things. So the agent itself, which is the large language model, would define instructions and tools. Then the tool, which is services and functions that allow you to extend the functionality, like what Clifford did, where you literally could, ask it for recommendation. And then you have threads, which is a way to manage and truncate messages. So it's kind of like the conversational chat for you, and obviously run. So agent to thread and then run. The activation of an agent to perform the tasks based on the thread content and the configured tools. So this is a high level view of the agent service in action. So first off, you create an agent, right? Here, there's an example called the Contoso Sales Agent. You give it instructions. You tell it, hey, you are an advanced sales analysis agent for Contoso, specialized in assisting users with sales data inquiries. And then you see the base models it's using, whether it is, GPT-4, it is Olama, it is any of it. And then you ground it with your data, with your business data, which you can bind to Azure AI Search or files. And then you have the tools like File Search, Code Integrator, Function Calling, Bing Search, Microsoft SharePoint, Fabric. You add all these tools that allow you to perform extra actions on your behalf. Then here are the thread, the sales analysis. The user's messages tell me the total sales by region. So this is like the thread, the 10 by 10 actions of your agent. Here's a sales in Europe. The user can say show as a pie chart, and it shows that for you. And each of this, right? Look at the run. The first is tell me the total sales by region. This is your first, and the response. That's your first round. So this message is what we call a function call. Function calling tool. So for instance, if you say tell me the total sales by region, it's a function call to a function you provide that is going to query the database for that information, right? That's function calling. And then it creates a message as the response to the user. Here again, show us a pie chart. This is code interpreter 2 to create a pie chart. So you can see the tools and their use cases within the ecosystem of actually creating an agent for your use case. So here I'm going to, for the sake of time, I'm going to go through all the demo, all the how do you call it, all the topics, right? And then I would come back and start to do the demo, and hopefully we have enough time to do that. But don't worry, like I said, our community is always there. Some of these things, if you're not able to do them on our event or shows, we go ahead to make sure that we can actually have them as part of our series that we do. So there's going to be 2 demos. I'm going to do the function calling and the code interpreter tool, but I'm going to take you through exploring I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to walk you through the processes before we get to that point. So let's explore some of the AI agent. So we have 3 basic frameworks. There is AutoGen, you have your Azure AI Foundry, you have your Copilot, right? Now, each of them gives you a base way of actually deploying it. Some of them is, it says that with a slide deck on the agent to be shared. Yes, we'll make a shareable version for you. This is more for the global event, and we have certain restrictions, but we will create shareable ones that we can share with you. And that's a question from Kweku Frimpong Yeboah, so we'll do that for you as well. All right. So if you want to work on the iteration, AutoGen is a cool tool that you can use to work on your AI agent iteration. Then you can look at the Copilot Studio to scale. And then if you want to move into production, you can move it into Azure AI Foundry. So we'll take a look at all that. So first of all, single agent. Now you can deploy an agent with Azure AI Foundry. And after this, I'll show you the AI Foundry and some of the things, how to use them. Then if you want to build the various, multi-agent stuff, then you can take a look at orchestrating them together with AutoGen and semantic kernel. So semantic kernel is what semantic kernel is what Clifford showed you. You can also use AutoGen. Now, AutoGen primarily works with Python, right? It's a state-of-the-art, research SDK. But semantic kernel, production ready, you can use C#, Python, and they are working on some Java as well. You can have a semantic kernel version for that, and it's a very stable SDK. So the thing is, it's cool to have. You can use AutoGen for rapid ideation or iteration of your agent, and you can use semantic kernel for production, or deploy them using Azure AI Foundry. So these are the couple of things to take note. Now, what are the takeaways from this session? Learning and next steps for me will be, first of all, for you, define and identify your use cases, right? What are your use cases for using AI agents that can be effective? Now, there's a thing that the fact that it's trending is buzzing means that you just jump on it without any plan. No, you need to have a plan for executing this, right? So you need to define what you want your use case for using those AI agents and where it will bring value and return on investment. Take it to the next level with AI agent services. So get function calling, get code generation, file search, add it to your data, extend it so that your customers, your internal users can find value in what you're building with it. And explore frameworks like Azure AI Agent Service, Semantic Kernel, AutoGen. Explore them, right? Because they are frameworks that allow you to build rapid application integrated into your solutions. If you don't want to use just a a template boilerplate for you to create AI agents. And then obviously use UI or code to build your agent. It's up to you. In the previous session, Clifford showed us how to use a command line version or CLI version. You can, like mentioned, you can create your own with React, with Angular, with Blazor, anything, right? You can either use and build an AI application or build it in code. So thank you for listening to me. Now, how many minutes have we got? So before we do that, so I'm going to quickly share. Let me bring this here and share a few screens for you to show you. Let me open this. I'm going to show you a few services or a few places where you can leverage some of these things. So let me bring this here and we can share this. Let's share an entire screen here so we can easily let's share with audio where necessary. And kindly please keep your questions coming in so that we'll try to answer it for you. Let me get my tools running. So what you are seeing now is the Azure AI Foundry, right? This is the Azure AI Foundry, which is one of the frameworks or tools that allows you to leverage and build AI agents for yourself. So it works with creating what we call an AI hub. And as you can see, we created one for just this bootcamp. So creating a project requires you to create an Azure AI agent service. Sometimes if you're going to use speech, you can also leverage a speech studio to do that. You might need a key vault to store certain keys and credentials. And then also you could leverage other things as well, right? If you go to, let me bring this here so I show you how to access this thing here. So if you go to ai.azure.com, it will bring you to the Azure AI Foundry. Because I'm already logged on, that is why you see it here. Now, it has a couple of interesting use cases. So here, I am in one hub, and you can see on the left side here, these are a lot of easy options for you to access. All right. So here I can review the models. I can go to the playground that allow me to test the models. I can also look at embedded or connected AI services from Azure. And here, build and customization. I can go ahead and build my agent. I can do templating. I can fine tune, and I can use prompt flow to design my prompt properly. And you realize we talked about evaluation, right? As part of the consideration, evaluation. I can go ahead and enable tracing, evaluate, and safety and security to ensure that I am having a 360 grounded way of securely building my agent. So you see how the Azure AI Foundry ticks all these boxes in allowing you to build it. And here you can have your own models and endpoints, your data, your web apps, things that are connected to it. Let's quickly go to the model catalog. Now, this is not a demo, right? I know that I just noticed with time, if I want to go into the demo, we will not be able to, get finished before our scheduled time to end the stream to make sure we are compensating for virtual fatigue. So what myself and the team are going to do is that on my Friday shows, I'm starting a series on building your agent and co-pilot. So all those series will be available once you join the WhatsApp group and you join the YouTube, you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll be able to see us walk through this step by step, not in a convoluted or in a rush way, but in a step-by-step way that you can actually follow through. So if you go to the model catalog, so make sure you join and so that you can learn how to do this. The model catalog here, as you can see, allows you to literally, you can see there's now DeepSeek V3 is also available. You can check it out. There is 5.4, which is a small language model, SLM. There are quite a few of them right here. Now you can that's a good thing about using Azure AI Foundry. The playground allows you to pick a model and you can test it. Now look at the model history. There are a lot of these models, right? From Mistral, from Prism, from from Llama, Whisper. Look, there are a lot of them. And that is one of the interesting things about using Azure AI Foundry. It allows you to test them. So if I want to check out, let's say DeepSeek, I can say, hey, let's check out DeepSeek. I can do this in the model catalog. It will add DeepSeek to my catalog, and then I can go to the playground. Right there you go. So I can deploy it at the top here. Once I deploy it, that model will be added, and then I can go to the playground and test it, right? And test it, ask it questions. Now, remember, in all these ways, this is just the base model. I haven't used RAG or anything to add it to my own custom model, right? And that is something that I have done leveraging Copilot. So this is so if once I deploy it, I can go to the playground and try it out, test it out. Like, and here they have different playgrounds for agents, for images, for Microsoft has provided a playground for you to test all your models in a very useful and clean way. Then the AI services, like I mentioned, these are the services that you can connect, the Azure services you can connect to build your agent, from speech, language translation, vision, content safety, a whole lot of them. You can link them. Then to build your agent, I mentioned you can build your agent here in the portal, or you can use the Microsoft Copilot Studio. I'll show that briefly. Or you can use the SDKs like Clifford did to build the leveraging tools like Semantic Kernel or AutoGen, right? You can use that. So here I can create an agent and debug the agent, as and when I want. I can fine tune and all that. So that is for Azure AI Fund. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole series on that. The team is going to do a whole series on that. So let's jump to the other option. Here is a speech studio where you can create specific speech related AI services. But the other place where you can create your own, your own agent is the Copilot Studio. Now, this is a more low code, no code approach of building your agent, right? In my case, I'm going to show you the agent I have built. And that's why I said I could have done it on the AI Foundry, or I could have still done it here. Now, I created a beer agent. For those who follow me know that I like to drink beer a lot. So I have a beer agent that is connected to a data source that is tracking where I take beer, the number of bottles I take, the type of beer I take, where I took it, and all that information. And I can now build an AI agent on it that can tell me that, and even go to the extent of probably, reordering beer for me when the stock goes low, right? Now I can have this autonomously done by an agent. So to walk you through, this was just a basic definition of my agent. As you start, I say this is an AI agent that helps in beer intake management. You will be asked to give information about the beer intake, the location, the preferred beer, and the most beer taking. You need to do this in a fun and interesting tone. And look at this, says that from time to time, when engaged, start by greeting them by saying a funny beer quote. Now, there's just one way. Then you see that below here, there is an analytics section where it's telling me total sessions, the engagement, satisfaction score. But this is the important part, right? Is the knowledge. You notice that I have grounded it. In this case, you call it RAG, with location, beer intake, and beer tables, which are in database. Here, look, I can go ahead and add a lot more, right? I can go ahead and add a lot more. Then again, you can see I have triggers, right? What are the actions that trigger this agent? It could be a chat like I will do right now to simply test or show you, or it could be a response to an email, or it could just be a click of a button. Those are triggers that determine how and when your agent is fired. So here, let's ask it a very simple question. So I'll say, hey, beer buddy, and let's start, and let's see if the instructions I gave it followed it, whether it's going to give me start by, so one thing one thing I notice is that it is fixated on this one, how do you call it, this one beer quote. Okay, it says beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy, right? That's a quote from Benjamin Franklin saying that he can help. Now let's do something. Let's go here and edit the instructions. Okay. From time to time, when engaged, start by greeting them by saying a funny beer quote. Now, I'll say these quotes should be dynamic, um, dynamic and funny, right? And I can go ahead and say, don't repeat the same quote in the same session, right? Now, all I'm doing here, publish it. So all I'm doing is, and one of the important things when you're building your AI agent, the more context you give it, the more, give it context, give it good instructions, right? And once you've done that, your agent, right, is going to be grounded and give you the information that you require, so that it's not giving you vague or generated or concocted stories, right? So I just noticed that most times the only fun quote it gives me, because probably that's the only one it has. But now I'm telling it that, hey, be generic, right? Be dynamic. Tell me, not just don't repeat it, give me different ones, right? So let's see how that happens. And then I'll just ask it, and you can see how it infers. So it says is, let's test this again. So let's start the testing, and I'll go ahead and say, hey, beer buddy, and let's see, is retrieving information, and there you go. So here it's, and yeah, sometimes it take a while for the for that app, for the for it to, so it's still giving me that. Let's try it again and see if it's going to give me the same code to a more dynamic one. And that, from my experience in building this, I noticed that sometimes I give the instructions. Aha, now look at that. You see that it's now updated it. The first time I called it, it gave me this code, right? And now when I call it again, look at the quote it's giving me. It says, beauty is in the eye of a beer holder. So this is interesting, right? I think I need to take I need to to add this to it. But again, right, this is interesting. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's see what this this beer agent can do for us. So I'll say I'll say, when was the last event that uh, let's say this, give me the last event when last event for beer, give me the last event for beer intake, include in this response the number of bottles I took and the beer names, right? So let's do this. So let's wait for it. So I'm asking it, give me the last event for beer intake, including this response, the number of bottles I took and the beer names, right? So there you go. Let's check this out. And this is because, sorry guys. So you see this response, couple of things are happening here. You had a beer intake event titled Home Live Streaming Drinking on the Job on March 31st, where you consumed 3 bottles of club beer. And it's telling me where it got that information from, which is RAG, which is based on my data source where that information came from, right? This is, imagine this is your business, right? And you ask it, oh, can you summarize and give me the last quarter sales of beer or for my product, or how many orders I have? And because it is grounded on your data, it would give you this information in a human friendly way. These are just some of the simple examples of how you can leverage building your own agent to do this. Like I said, my clock is saying 7 minutes, and that's what I'm saying. So this is just to walk you through the environment to use it. However, we're going to share a workshop. I think Clifford and the team will be doing a workshop, a virtual workshop on how to create all these things, and especially the code for creating this, so that all of you who are participating in our session would be able to do that. So this is where I bring the curtains. This is where I bring the curtains to an end for my session on leveraging, right, or building AI agents. With that said, I would like to again say thank you for all of you that have joined us. The today's session was quite interesting. I hope that you've picked something from our session, especially on this AI thing. Figure out which areas or which part of your business you want to, engage in leveraging AI for. And again, I mentioned that we have our user group here, the WhatsApp group. Do well to join this WhatsApp group so that once we start sharing and doing these hands-on sessions, you can gain more valuable insights into the world of AI development and the modern trends that are going on. Well, at this point, I am going to bring in our our next session. Here is Kahoot. I'm going to go ahead and bring our guests. Let's bring Clifford. Let's bring Elliot. I believe Mr. Odum had to run to do some things. So now that we have our guests back, we're going to bring in the next thing we have before we end our stream from Accra is Kahoot. So for those of you who don't know what Kahoot is, Kahoot is primarily, it's a platform for learning, an interactive fun and learning and engagement tool. We use it for most of our meetups and our our sessions, to allow us, validate if all the people on our call were paying attention to our streams and their prizes to be giving out. So the team, Clifford and the team, please take note of our winners once we're done, so we can reach out to them and give them their swags and their gift. So again, please, the QR code is there. Scan to join our user group, our WhatsApp user group, for more information. And now let's go ahead and prepare our Kahoot. And this is where we normally say that this is the power of the gods, where we need to know where we need to know you get to test the speed of your your internet. So let me go ahead and add this. So this is our link, Kahoot, and let's do this. Join the game to win some swags. So let's get this here. I'm going to add, where is that? So I'm going to add, actually, I believe we should. So if you scan this QR code, it should take you to the Kahoot site. And once you are in there, you would see, how do you call it? You would see the pin, which is 71449. Maybe I think I should bring that in so that I can move myself from here. Yeah, share with audio. My team, can you hear the audio?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, we are in full screen. Okay, excellent. So yeah, scan the QR code in the Kahoot section. The one on the top left is joining our user group, but scan the one by the 714999. Let's see, and please, so scan, join the Kahoot. There you go. And once you join, just go ahead and putting your nickname. Okay, so I see somebody in there. So put in your name and let's join. Okay, we see. I think I know this Yao person. I think I know this. I know who this Yao person is. I know this Yao. Kindly join us. Kahoot is going. If you're on the stream, tell your people to join. We see quite a number of people here. We see about 51 people on the stream. Yes. Please sign. Wait, you can't hear the audio from. Hold on, let's see. Okay, Kobe Sly just joined. Let's see. Okay, can you guys hear the audio now? Hold on. Let's see. Let's see if we can get the audio. I believe my team can hear the audio, but those of us connecting online, are you able to hear the audio coming from Kahoot? Some of the names that we are seeing on the stream. How many more people? Let's see. I see about 51 people on the live. And we have just about how many people? Let's get about 10 people on the Kahoot. Okay, awesome. Let's get about 10 people on the Kahoot. 10, at least 10 before we get started. Why are some people dropping? Is it their connection that is not holding up for them? Okay, there we go, guys. Let's get going. We have about 50 on the live now, so we need to get at least 10, and then we go live. We just start Kahoot. Let's do this. Scan the QR code on the top right. Actually, just to avoid any ambiguity, let's take out the user group QR code. Scan the QR code there and join so that we can start the Kahoot. 1 2 3. Okay, looking at time, we are time for this. So okay, do we get one more? Hey, we have 50 people on the stream and we only have 4 people joining the Kahoot. What is happening? We would love to learn how to build some agent. Definitely. Yes. We'll do that. Kwame, have you joined the Kahoot? 1 2 3 4. Okay, for the sake of time, we want to end here at 2. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to start the Kahoot. Okay, so Global AI Bootcamp Accra 2025. Let's get started. The first question. Okay, 1 of 10. Which of the following best describes retrieval augmented generation? Okay. Lock in your answers in 2, 1, and that's it. Okay. Yes. Interesting. Only one person. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, Bronx is leading. I think I know who this Bronx is. Some people, even if you win, you'll not qualify for the gift. Let's continue. So, true or false? Microsoft Copilot is exclusively designed for coding tasks. I don't know. I don't know. Let's answer the question. Let's see. 3, 2, 1, and that's it. Okay, pretty much everybody got this. Okay. Still Shake Up Bronx is leading this. Okay, next question. True or false? Are LLMs always the best choice for running AI on edge devices? Everybody seems to have answered. Hey, this is a close call. So this is going to be a battle of your connection speed. All right. Well, some good information there. Bronx is on fire. Okay. What is the primary goal of Azure AI Foundry? Wow, that was fast. Okay, let's see who is on the streak. Okay, Yao is overtaking Kobe Sly. Let's go. This is a quiz. In AI lingo, what does SLM stand for? What does SLM stand for? Okay, we are getting there. We're halfway through. Are there going to be any changes? No, the race is still the same. Let's go. True or false? Microsoft Copilot can help automate document creation within Office apps. Is that true or false? Is that true or false? Is that true or false? And looks like everybody got this correct. Would that have some shakeups? No, still staying the same. So, which of the following is not a typical use case for RAG? Hey. Okay, that was a tricky one. Let's see if it changed. Well, it still remains the same. Which key benefit is most associated with using Azure AI? Right? It looks like I'm giving some people some hint. It looks like I'm giving some people some hint. We shall see. Okay, still no change. Let's see. In an AI world, the term co-pilot mostly closely implies we will see about that in 9, 8. Okay. Answer streak. All right. There has been an overtaking. There's been an overtaking. And the last set of quiz, which programming language is primarily used when working with semantic kernel? Is it C#? Is it Java? Is it Python? Is it, what is it? Is it which of them? Which of them? Choose your answers. Okay. Now let's get to the podium. Who was number 3? Kobe Sly. Kobe Sly, if you're watching, kindly drop your details in there. Yeah, I know this Bronx person is not going to get it. This Bronx person is not going to get it at all. This Bronx person is not going to get it at all. So this is it. Global AI Bootcamp Accra. This is it. These are the people who participated. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you for joining. I believe the next thing to do is to share. Is to go ahead and share our. Let's get rid of this now. Thank you very much for your help, so we can get this out of the way. So let's bring out the QR code. So I mentioned that at the end of today's session, we will be giving out digital badges for everyone who participated. So that's the QR code and that's the code. So what you want to do is that scan this QR code. It will take you to the same page where you registered for this event. Putting the code, which is 5CHX6, and then you would be issued a digital badge for participating in the Global AI Bootcamp Accra version. And that is it for us. We have just barely about 10 minutes to go. We started from 10 a.m. to now it's 2 p.m. It's been a marathon. It's been good. We're grateful for all the 50 people still live. Thank you very much for joining us. We are grateful. From any last words from you, Elliot? Last words. Any last words from you, Elliot? And then I'll come back to Clifford, and then we can call it a day here from Accra, Ghana. So, Elliot.
Well, I'll just say, try and get your hands dirty and work with generative AI. It's very nice to work with. And that's all. And if you need any resources, you can contact me on LinkedIn, US outlet. I'll connect with a message. That's all. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Clifford, what do you have for us? Last words.
Yeah, so what I would say is that thank you guys for watching. We started this 10 a.m. and it's almost like 4 hours or something like that, and then you guys have been with us. So thank you guys for watching us and then being part of the community. Let's all do what we can do to build a community in Africa where people will come and then they'll be happy. So if you need any resources to learn this AI thing, or you need any help, we have the WhatsApp group, so you can ask your question or you can then seek for any support, and then we will help you. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in another event.
Oh, excellent. Talking about another event, the Global Azure Bootcamp is also coming up in May. We'll also be streaming this as well. We're hoping that event is going to be a hybrid event. We're going to have an in-person event. So, and then also a portion of it to be live. So if you are in Accra, please follow us. I think we've already posted it, but we're working to formalize the venue. It's going to be a hybrid, so in person and also online. So follow us, and we're going to release the venue for it. Register. There's going to be swags. There's going to be a lot of things to give out. So please do make sure that you do that with us. Last words from me. AI is here to stay. AI should help you be productive. AI should help you be ahead of a game, ahead of a competition. The earlier you start to align with it and use it in your case studies in your business, the better, for you to remain relevant in the game. AI undisputedly will take some jobs, yes, but we still need people. AI is also still going to create a lot of jobs, from prompt engineering, from agent development and stuff like that. So position yourself, be part of the move that adapt AI to be productive, and that adapt AI as a co-pilot and doesn't let AI become the brains for you to think, for you to do things for you, but rather leverage AI to be a helping hand, a productive co-pilot that will help you achieve more. With that said, we want to once again acknowledge our sponsors. Big thank you to the global AI community. Big thanks to Microsoft, to AfriLogic, to Accede, and then to our host, our group, which is the Accra .NET Azure and AI user group, where we say, come learn, share, and grow with us. So, like we say, right? Until we come your way, the other boot camp. But remember, like I said, Clifford has content. I also have content on the Demystify Tech series. And this series is focused on AI co-pilots, and we're starting a brand new episodes on building your AI, your co-pilots from scratch, leveraging Microsoft tools like Copilot Studio, AI Foundry, and you can name it. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, you've joined our WhatsApp group, and you can learn a lot from us. So from myself, my humble speakers and co-host of the user group, and big thanks to the Global AI Bootcamp community. Thank you so much for sticking and stay with us. You could have, there are a lot of things you could have done with your Saturday morning. We've been with you from morning till now until we come your way again next week on our shows and subsequently monthly on our event. We say a big thank you and hope to see you in subsequent ones. With that said, we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and be safe.